calling back. We're going to try to give her a call again, and then she just added another phone number to the 13-year-old grandson who's possibly with the daughter. Step out with this.
2412.
Veteran crisis hotline's calling in, so they have a female veteran's off her medication. She's at work to safe haven. Detecting 12, take a check that one out.
6 Rumble, 2-1 try to get shot.
Also still stands for time? No. Offender in custody? Okay. Anyone else close? Wait till you result. Let me know. First number. 10-4. I'll take a check that one out.
6 Rumble, 2-1 try to get shot.
Also still stands for time? No. Offender in custody? Okay. Anyone else close? Wait till you result. Let me know. 10-5.
33. Another supervisor in town that I have a case report with this.
I'm sorry, why not copy your lunch location?
that means it's going to be 8:55 p.m. Isaac 7. Isaac 2 to CO 26. Give me a call on my phone, please. ASAP. We have a media staging location. The media staging location was going to be at the Philly gas station. The northwest corner across the street to Office Max. Be advised it's on the east side of Roosevelt Boulevard at the Office Max. Okay, the new media station area is going to be at the Office Max. The new media station area is going to be at the Office Max. 826, I can see, so I'll read you that one.
Wow, this is crazy. Hold on 1 second here.
Isaac 2.
Let me.
Isaac 2. All right, your number is either, sir.
Let me adjust this here.
267-496-5130.
Why is it showing so close? I apologize. Hold on here. There we go. All right, we got the scanner.
AMB4.
We got the scanner going.
If anybody reports lost radio, I found one in the Duncan. Well, one was left in the Duncan.
Oh, hold on 1
second. Over to the command post outside of Macy's.
For certain right now.
You know the number on it, ma'am.
An aircraft went down.
Showing us this burned out car.
7122.
You can see, smoke still coming from the street there, and just.
You've got the Roosevelt Mall right on the other side of the street here, and there's a Raising Cane's, there's a Dunkin', and here's that video. Let's just take a look again.
Whoa.
Coming home, and they have the door open, and
whoa,
2 slams.
Can you imagine?
It just comes right out of.
Like
whoa, that is like straight down.
To have that happen,
that is like straight down.
He reacts before.
Whoa, it goes back
hears
too. Hold on 1 second. It goes back too. Let me slow that down here. Watch it go. It like flies back. See, it goes straight down and then it comes back this way right after. What the heck? And they turned around too. They'll play it a couple more times. I got the scanner up in the background here too. Let me know if you need me to turn the scanner up. Here, I'll turn it up a little more. Freaking sinuses. All right, see, it's coming down this way. Then it goes straight down. Then it kind of flies. It's going straight down, but it's getting pushed back. What the heck? Here, let me turn the scanner up. Yeah, we're going to have the live scanner going the whole time. Let me know if you need me to adjust it up or down. We're going to talk about the plane crash from last night as well. And there's going to be an...
On the Macy's parking lot. That's what I was waiting for Mercy Charlie for. He should have a package of 10 officers come over to me, Macy's parking lot.
They're going to have an investigator on tonight talking about the crash last night. And I kind of wanted to... I wanted to talk to you guys about it last night. So I'm going to talk about... I'm going to talk about some things tonight before we get... That's crazy.
Yeah, if you're going to send some officers to move cars from the parking lot from Charlie 8, you would like us to move some cars at a common avenue between Calvert and the Roosevelt Boulevard. Could you help us out with that also?
Only up for 35 seconds.
In this driveway here, we had to do Calvert, the Bly Street side of the building, Calvert to Bustleton. I thought that's where we were using for the exit. We wanted to make sure that was clear and dump all these cars
Whoa,
out.
there's some confusion going on out there.
On your list of things to do, I guess on Charlie 8, could we clear Cotton Avenue, like from Calvert over to the Roosevelt Boulevard? And where are we going to stage these cars at?
Whoa, there's some confusion going on there.
There's a whole section of this Macy's parking lot, like section 1, 3, and 4. We can clear that real quick, and once that's clear, we can relocate vehicles over here if you would like. So I'm going to check with Charlie 8. I think he wanted to move it to 2800 top.
Whoa, what is going on there?
All right, boss, just let me know. The sections of lot we have in the corner of the Macy's over by the Coppin and Boulevard, Bly Street side. I'm sorry, the Bly and the Boulevard side is clear. I know, but from Charlie 8, he would like the Macy's clear and Coppin Avenue clear, and maybe we can move these cars over to 2800 Coppin Avenue.
All right, we're gonna go to this this press conference here.
I got media personnel.
I'm gonna go ahead and turn the dispatch down a little bit. I'll keep it up, and now if there's something going on, we'll turn it back up.
Suddenly a fireball right on Cotman between Bustleton and the Boulevard, and now a firefighter's still there. Obviously they're still trying to make sure that there are no
If
in now and listen to officials.
Yoli, if you're free, you're more than welcome to come up. Just let me know. Let me know if you want to hop up.
Give us their first update. It's Mayor Sherelle Parker along with firefighters.
Let me start by thanking each of you for being here. I want to go through some basic facts about what we know for certain right now. An aircraft went down in the vicinity of Roosevelt Mall on Cottman Avenue. This occurred shortly after 6 p.m. this evening. As of right now, we have no reports on the number of fatalities. So right now, we're just asking for prayers for any and everyone who may have been affected.
No reports on
several dwellings and vehicles
were
impacted.
They still don't know?
Asking you to do for us right now, Philadelphia. We're urging you to please stay away from the scene. If you see debris, call 911.
Whoa.
Don't touch anything. This is still an active scene under investigation. I'm proud to note that all of our federal and state partners, they are either en route here or on the ground with us right now. We did see some neighbors who live in the surrounding community. Just stay in your home. Again, it's still an active scene and it's under investigation. This is only the first of many briefings, I'm sure, to come on this evening. And of course, when daylight comes, when we have more facts and information to share with you. But I do want to say a special thank you right now, again, to all of our federal and state partners and our amazing first responders right here in the city of Philadelphia. Our fire, our EMS, our police department, they have been here working vigorously to ensure that we get this perimeter and the surrounding area blocked off to ensure that we make public safety and health our #1 priority. So we don't have any further information to share at this time. I've spoken to our Governor Josh Shapiro. He is en route. I've spoken to our U.S. Senator John Fetterman, other federal officials, and everyone. All hands on deck. That's where we are right now.
You're right, Detective. It does.
We'll have more information to report.
Holy crap.
In the near future.
Detective, it does.
And that appears to be it. Just, I didn't expect a lot.
It does look
so
like a
fluid, and
freaking
so
mushroom
many things yet to
cloud,
be determined.
Detective.
So Mayor Sherelle Parker, the main point they're saying, if you come across debris, first of all, stay away from the area. Don't touch anything. And if you see any debris, call 911. So that's really was the gist of what she had to say early on. She had no information on injuries, fatalities, casualties on the ground. I would have liked to have known, what the hospital situations are like. What the triage units and some of the area hospitals are like, still too soon to tell. You're looking on the right at what we believe is ground zero, where this crash happened on Cotman. And on the left, the mayor, along with the police commissioner, Kevin Bethel, and Adam Teal, the managing director, the former fire chief, was all there. But again, they did not take questions. Just a very stern ask of the mayor to don't touch anything. And
Shawnette and Steve Keeley both were saying that there were a lot of people who live in that neighborhood who had come out to see what was happening, to see the scene, some people gawking. And basically the mayor is saying, please don't do that. Stay away from the scene, stay in your homes. And if you do see something that you suspect may be a piece of wreckage from the plane, any kind of evidence that may be related to this huge disaster, to call 911, not to touch it, not to do anything, but basically, you know, keep away from this scene. And we do know that Roosevelt Boulevard is closed to traffic right now. And the mayor, Jason, saying all hands on deck.
Here, we're going to switch to this tab here.
In the near future.
You've been listening to Mayor Cheryl Parker.
Look at this. There's some other video.
First responders.
There's some other video. Look at this.
This horrible accident. A Learjet goes down in Northeast Philadelphia, carrying 6 people. 6 people. A debris field is all throughout the area. 6 people on board. A couple of doctors, 2 pilots, a patient, and a family member of the patient. There's the aftermath, the moment of impact. Just
oh my Lord. And you're right, it did go up.
The 3rd hour of
Watch
our
when they
coverage,
show this other video.
and still no answers. No answers. It's going to be a long time as this investigation continues.
When they show that other video, it does. It goes up.
As the mayor said,
Man,
fatalities, official
oh
reports.
my
We're still waiting for that
gosh.
information. We have a number of people,
And it
on the
literally
scene, a
went
number of
straight
reporters trying to
down.
gather as much information as we can as this plane crashes near Cotman and the boulevard, just less than 5 miles from the Northeast Airport, where it took off on its way to Springfield, Missouri this evening. Gino Burrell joins me now from our morning crew. Gino, this has been absolutely shocking and awful to see.
And it is just devastating, Yuki. I was listening to your coverage on the way into the station here and just seeing these images, that fireball exploding and hearing the
Look
voices
at all these
of
different
those residents
camera
in the
angles.
neighborhood, watching it just in shock and in horror. All of this happening just a couple of days
And
after what we saw
yeah,
happen.
it goes
outside
straight
of our
up. It
nation's
goes
capital.
straight
So
up.
everybody just very shaken by this news here in Northeast Philadelphia this evening.
No,
As we
right,
wait
Michael.
to get more details
It went up.
from
It goes
officials
up.
as to what happened, and we're looking at these images, these huge
Whoa.
fire piles on the scene as emergency responders are trying to
Whoa.
assess what happened
Oh
here. You can
my
only imagine
gosh, what
what these neighbors, what was going through their minds.
Let's try to
at the
find
time.
out. Let's try to find out more now, because I believe Carrie Corrado is standing by with the latest from her vantage point. Carrie?
Yuki, we've been speaking with a lot of people the moment we got here. We found one man who says he lives nearby. Is that right?
Yeah, I live like 2 blocks from here. You know, like when the accident was, the crash was happening, I was, inside the house. I was talking to my brother, and we heard like big sounds, like it's like some, I don't want to say like earthquake, but it's like somebody's knocking the door, it's very hard. And I was like, what's going on? Then me and my brother just ran out from, house, and we see like there is nothing basically, but I see like within like 1 minute, everybody started, running from like my neighborhood next door and everybody's running there.
So you said the crash made your house shake. It almost felt like somebody was like knocking
And it
hard
goes
on
up.
it.
Yeah, very hard. Like I wasn't expecting like this. I never, I had
What's up, Kevin?
noise like
What's
that
up,
in
Kevin?
my house. This is the first time we had like very strong noise, And
So when you realized what was happening, you said you saw people just start running. It was pretty chaotic.
Yeah, very chaotic. Everybody's running. We didn't know what's going on. And my brother was asked somebody that what's going on. Then
What's
she
up,
said, like,
SOC?
there's probably like car crash or something going on. But in like
Prayers,
30 seconds,
prayers,
so
prayers.
there's like a smoke, sky and flames, something like that. And me and my brother just ran, in here,
What's up?
and I saw there's a flame.
Governor
So that had
will.
to be pretty scary to
Very
watch.
Governor will
scary
be
at
there
that time,
in
all the
15
cops and ambulance started coming and big noise everywhere. It's very sad, because I live in the neighborhood for a long time. It's never happened like that, but I'm, very upset at this moment about this accident.
Well, thank you for sharing your story with me.
No problem. Thank you so much. I'm praying for everybody, feel safe here. Thank you.
Thank you. So, Yuki, that was just one account. There are many people who witnessed this plane coming down, many people who say they left their cars and just ran. Other people say they saw a big fireball and then smoke billowing into the air. So this is a very heavily populated area with a lot of businesses, homes, people shopping in the area. So many people saw this and witnessed this, and they're sharing their videos with all of us.
Carrie, thank you so much. Once again, 6 people on that plane, and we just received word. I mentioned that a patient, Carrie, we'll get back to you. Thank you so much. That was on that plane with a child. A child patient.
A child patient was. Look at this. What is this?
2 doctors, 2 pilots.
What?
What? Patient.
A little jet?
That child.
Just devastating to hear the details as we wait for an update on the condition of those people who are on board and those who were injured on the ground as well. Our Joe Holden has been joining us by phone.
What's the plane model? I'll look it up. How in the heck did this?
You have some information you can share with us as well.
Look at this.
Well, yeah, Janelle and Yuki, good evening again, and I'm
Look
sad
at
to
this.
be with you under the circumstances because the visuals that we've been wrapping our heads around tonight, I want to make a note that when I watched the briefing from the mayor, there certainly appears to be just a deep frustration with this. And
what's the model number?
That the mayor made.
What's the model number?
Went down shortly after 6 p.m.
Whoa! And then it goes up. Show the
number of fatalities.
Show the first video we saw. Otherwise, we'll go back to it.
55,
you can see
the actual
it goes
number
up.
of people
Look at that
who
right
may
there. It
have
goes
been
up.
hurt, injured, transported is still unclear. According to the mayor herself.
Yes. Another
she said
plane
that several
crash.
dwellings and vehicles were
We're going to
impacted.
talk about the
We
plane
know
crash
our
from
sources,
last night, too.
Law enforcement and folks that we are talking to in that community that houses caught fire, cars caught fire as debris rained down and exploded out from the center of this impact. Mayor Sherelle Parker urged people to stay away, to stay in your homes. And shortly before the mayor took to that bank of microphones, we reminded people what our sources were saying to do. If you have debris on your property, you are urged to call 911, which the mayor, in fact, instructed people to do. We talked about the debris fields to show you the
oh, my Lord. Look at this.
Of the explosion and the impact. My police sources are saying debris has been found as far south as Tyson, which it's not a long car ride, but it is certainly a distance from Cotman and Rupert and Cotman and the Boulevard. And then as far east towards the river as St. Matthews and Wellington and Cotman. It is extensive. We spoke with or heard from a woman who told us that she thought a car had hit her house, and she is on the complete opposite side of the boulevard from here. And in this video that we're looping right now, there's actually a car that looks to be in a bank drive-through that it wasn't even long enough. It appeared that they completed their transaction. This plane crashed, and they stepped on the gas.
Wow.
And this video that we're also watching here now, Arthur Walk previously describing the trajectory with which the plane is coming down appears to his
see what I'm saying? It goes up.
Opinion to be almost a 45-degree angle.
And it was essentially just a nosedive to the ground there.
Yeah.
A nosedive to the ground and the resulting explosion about as violent as you could imagine. And what we're seeing with the multiple sources.
Oh, my gosh. Look at the cloud, man. Here, let me shrink it up. Let me see if I can. Hold on. Let me adjust. Let me adjust this.
004784.
Look at that cloud. Thank you, Busby. Appreciate it. All right. It's a medium. All right. So this right here So you're telling me this jet right here is what? Thank you, Busby. You're telling me this jet right here is what caused that issue? You're out of your damn mind. So we're gonna go back to this, and this cloud. This cloud? Hold on.
And she is on the complete opposite side of the boulevard from here. And in this
He got a perfect video of the whole thing. He got off his ring camera. So if anybody want to come here, he got the whole thing.
That's huge. I understand a lot of fuel, but look at the cloud. What? What's up, SM? Jennifer. Look at this cloud.
Sorry, I'll be right out. BD, are they going to office max? 231 President Boulevard? That's correct.
Man. That's wild. Approximately 6,700 pounds of fuel.
Have a little Y with me. Have a meet me at Bustleton and Blythe.
That's a very good point.
Bustleton and Blythe.
That's a very good point, Kevin. If it's a medical transport, it would have oxygen. Oh my gosh. And they were going straight down. Detective says watch the repeated explosions. You know, there's some weird stuff last night with
25.
Is that anywhere a location Red Cross for some neighbors?
That's weird. In the other angle, it looked like it was going straight down that.
Red Cross, I have seen Red Cross.
Salvation Army is on the nation side.
Here, let me turn this music down a minute.
224, there was two females in a car from the Red Cross. I sent them over to the Giant.
I just have to have a little bit on it just for fair use here. I'm seeing 6,700 pounds of fuel. Which makes sense because we were listening to about fuel last night for that other plane crash. Yeah, Kevin brings up a good point about that oxygen. What's up, buddy?
I'm working in 6226 line kill Pike.
And then this angle. See, it from different angles, it almost looks like a. It almost looks like a different different crash. Let me see here. What's
I didn't get
well, it looks.
I didn't catch that. Probably intersection. Hot Club.
Hot Club.
You too.
Here, let's switch to this
Plane
real
that
quick.
operated the plane, and they said at 6:25 tonight, jet rescue air ambulance experienced a crash. There were 4 crew members and 2 passengers, including a pediatric patient.
That's so sad.
Right. And they were
That
headed
is so
to
sad.
Springfield Branson National Airport. That is in Missouri. And Steve Keeley showed us earlier
Here,
an
we got
oxygen
some maps
tank
here.
with the company's name
Oh,
on it
see?
that presumably is part of this massive wreckage that has been just
Kevin was
strewn
right.
across,
Oh,
blocks
man.
and blocks of this area at Roosevelt Mall.
Kevin was right.
You know,
They
Roosevelt
found a
Boulevard
tank
is
with
closed.
the
There
name
is a
on it.
sea of police, ambulance, fire, emergency responders here on the scene, and they've been here for just almost 3 hours now.
Yeah, we understand the governor's on his way. We'll hear from him when he gets
Well,
there.
that makes sense
our
for
Shawna
that
Wilson also
that
reporting
huge.
that people may be displaced, which would not surprise me at all with some of these homes that caught fire.
That would make a huge.
So
yeah.
I don't know where they're going to go tonight. I'm sure people will step up and help them. Again.
And the mayor can
Visibility probably within those clouds, mist on the ground. Temperatures were at 48 degrees, wind speeds around 10 miles per hour. So the crash happened around 6:07 in the Northeast. Temperatures were around 49 at 6:14. Overcast conditions still. Like I said, the precipitation, that light rain, had moved out at that point briefly before now we're seeing those showers starting to move back in and pick up in intensity. I'll take you down there right now. Reporting conditions there at the Northeast Philadelphia Airport right around 51 degrees. So if we can find any silver lining from a weather perspective, is that those temperatures are relatively mild. It is late January, almost February. Just last week, we had temperatures in the teens and single digits across the region. We have temperatures now at 51 degrees. So all the responders are in
If you have any
relatively
updates
mild
too,
temperatures, though it is raining and we're going to see some heavier rain move in relatively shortly. At least those temperatures are a little bit more manageable. I'll take you down a little bit closer right now. I've stopped the radar just to show it's light rain over. There's the Northeast airport right there, just to the southwest. It's roughly 5 miles. I can put a track on it here and show you from.
Let me take you over here real quick. This is nuts. Look at this here real quick. I'll share the link for the video. Here, let me share the link. So here's the link for the video. Look at this. This is crazy. What the heck? What the heck?
What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? Oh my God.
What? Oh my gosh. Look at that. That's crazy. Wow. Hold on one second. We'll go back to this.
Northeast Philadelphia down to the Roosevelt Mall. It's about 3.3 miles as the crow flies.
So 3.3 miles.
I got the FAA here on the boulevard. Where exactly am I sending it? You see me? You can send him over to here. I'll just walk off to the command post now.
The mall.
And then you get a little bit closer closer to where the crash site is, and almost right across the street from Cotman there, and our own Joe Holden is reporting that there has been reports of debris as far southwest as Tyson. So by my
So 0.1 mile debris.
calculations, that's about a tenth of a mile that debris field was stretched from the side of the crash, all south and west. So that's consistent with the flight track there of the Learjet taking off from the airport just to the northeast, about 3 miles or so northeast of where it crashed, and then the debris strewn at least a tenth of a mile farther to the
Yeah,
south
it
and
should be
west.
any
So,
minute, right?
that's what I've been able to look at just from a fact standpoint, the weather standpoint, guys. And like I said, light rain right now over the northeast, but we've got heavier rain moving in probably within the next 20 minutes or so.
All right, buddy. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. And I just got a text from a friend who kind of lives in the area. She lives about 3 miles from the mall. And she said her next door neighbor, as we've heard from a lot of people, said her house shook violently when it happened. And she went outside thinking there might have been a car accident. She did hear a boom, my friend did, around that time. But this was the result. They had no idea at the time, but this is what happened. A small plane.
So they would have.
Leaving the Northeast Philadelphia airport with 6 people on board, including a child. A medical flight going to Springfield, Missouri, goes down just after the 6 o'clock hour this evening.
And that boom and that violent shaking you described only speaks to how powerful the impact was from that crash this evening. Our chief investigative reporter, Joe Holden, has been working his sources throughout the evening post as well. Joe, what do you have on your end?
Well, you know what? I'm continuing to watch video that we're receiving here in the newsroom, and from what I can see from our assignment editor, Ben Payne, he has come across video that shows a couple. It looks like the husband might be leaving the house. It is a normal Friday night. That's what this video begins to show. You hear wind chimes. And then all of a sudden, because the video is so good, you actually see a searchlight making its way through down from the clouds. And what is unmistakable in this video, and we're working to cue this up, but so I'm previewing this. What is unmistakable is the roar of the jets. So these jets sound as if they are at full throttle as this Lear jet crashes into the ground, resulting in, from what this drone video is showing, this catastrophe here in Northeast Philadelphia. The source is telling me now that the FAA that's arriving at Northeast Airport has now left the airport and will be heading to the scene there by ground. So that part of the investigation commencing, but as soon as we can turn around this video, what it shows you is
Look
life
at
on a
that.
Friday night and then an absolute disaster unfolding behind these people. What I failed to mention, because it's almost an afterthought given the audio, is the absolute whitewash of video that occurs when the impact happens. These folks in Northeast Philadelphia could not have been more than 2 blocks, maybe south of the
Look
impact.
at that.
And it is clear now from watching it why everyone says either their house shook or they heard what sounded like a car crash or something even unimaginable. So it is just it is staggering.
My gosh, this
coming out of
is
Northeast Philadelphia tonight.
Joe, we'll get back to you. It's just after 9 o'clock, 3 hours after.
yeah,
this Lear.
and it's not it's not going to be ice. It couldn't have been ice on the wing. It couldn't have been ice on the wing. What else would make that plane? The engines were working, made a loud roar, so it wasn't the engines. It wasn't ice. What would make a plane go straight down? The tail. Something happened to the tail, right? If something happens to the tail, it goes straight down, right? If something happened to the tail, it loses all. I wonder if something happened with the tail. Didn't another plane have its tail come off not too long ago?
Since the last time we spoke to you, we went on quite an adventure. We walked along
I wonder if
Avenue,
something
deep
happened
into
to
the
the
parking
tail.
lot by the Roosevelt Mall, looking to see if anybody was there, see if we could come upon anybody who may be in their
Oh, my
cars. 'Cause
Lord, and there
a
was
couple
a
hours ago, I spoke to a
pediatric
gentleman, a tow
patient.
truck driver who had to leave his tow truck.
Oh, my
I did
Lord.
mention
It
to
was
you that
already
he did
tough
see
last
the
night.
explosion. He was very shook up by it. He said he saw some human remains, was very shook up, did not want to go on camera. So we thought maybe we could see somebody in that direction. We could not. We turned back, went quite a bit in the opposite direction down Cotman Avenue. But the further we got, the less people people seemed to be not, I don't want to say aware of the situation, but did not necessarily see anything. I did speak with the.
Well, I used to work in the medical industry, and those tanks, they are pretty heavy. They are pretty heavy, the tanks are. I could see a couple tanks being on there, but when it comes to the weight, of those tanks, I would only see a couple being on there. Because a couple would be sufficient enough. I mean, that's a lot of oxygen in those tanks. I don't see a bunch of tanks on there like a truck would carry where it flies out and spreads. So it had to be the mixture of the fuel and a couple tanks, because a couple tanks will do some boom. They will. But I thought they said it was 60 some degrees tonight, isn't it? Let me see. Let me see what the temp is in Philly real quick. What is the temp in Philly? I thought they said it was 60, right? It's 50 degrees right now. So yeah, it can't be ice. It can't be ice. It's got to be here, let me go back to the picture of the jet. Something had to have happened to the tail. Yeah, it's not cold enough to have ice on the wing. And the only other thing I can think of that's going to make a plane literally is the tail. But, well, I don't know if it could be engine malfunction, because they said that the witnesses reported that they heard large roars from the engine, which would mean the engines are going at full blast. What's up, Samantha? The engines had to have been going full blast because of here, we'll go back to listen to this interview here. They talk about how the person heard like loud roars. Let's see here.
And out right now, and the investigation continues.
And there were 6 people on board that medical flight, as we've been telling you. There were 2 doctors, 2 pilots, a patient.
Yeah,
and
one of the
likely
witnesses
a
said
family
it
member,
was
and we're told
roaring, which
that one of
means
the people on board was.
which means this is what I think. They already started going down. They had to hit it full blast, and they were probably pulling back to try and get the plane to come up, but it was just going straight down anyway, no matter what they did. And I wonder if they did have the engines at full blast and they were pulling the stick back. I wonder if that's why when the plane came down, it came back this way a little bit in that one view, because right when they were going straight down, they had a little bit of, the wings it's going straight down. They were able to control a little bit, because when the plane is going straight down, it's just like the plane is level when it's hitting the air straight. So I think that's why the plane kind of backed off some, was because right at that last moment they were getting that airflow going straight, and they were able to use the flaps on the wings. Oh no!
A child was a child. This is just heartbreaking as we continue to
They're gonna
gather
be there
details for
soon.
you. Our Siafa Lewis also at the scene for us. Siafa, tell us where you are and what you're hearing from your vantage point.
So Janelle and Yuki, we are currently on Bustleton Avenue, just off of Cottman. Since the last time we spoke to you, we went on quite an adventure. We walked along Cottman Avenue, deep into the parking lot by the Roosevelt Mall, looking to see if anybody was there, see if we could come upon anybody who may be in their cars. Because a couple hours ago, I spoke to a gentleman, a tow truck driver, who had to leave his tow truck. I did mention to Yuki that he did see the explosion. He was very shook up by it. He said he saw some human remains, was very shook up, did not want to go on camera. So we thought maybe we could see somebody in that direction. We could not. We turned back, went quite a bit in the opposite direction down Cottman Avenue. But the further we got, the less people people seem to be not, I don't want to say aware of the situation, but did not necessarily see anything. I did speak with a gentleman a little while ago, though, who did see a little bit of the explosion, and here's what he had to say.
I just was driving and I saw just a lot of police activity, and then people texted me, I was close here, that there was a plane crash. And then my daughter, who GPS'd me, called me and was making sure that I was okay.
Yeah, so as you've heard from our colleagues who are also here on the scene, just a lot of people who are in shock and disbelief about the tragic events that occurred tonight. Very surreal. I'll tell you, it's very surreal feeling out here tonight.
Making sure you are okay. What the gentleman said, what Jimmy said, that's the bottom line right now. People are checking on each other, especially in that neighborhood, since debris just flew everywhere. People didn't know what was going on. But people taking care of people, that's what it's all about right now in this horrific situation.
And Siafa, you mentioned, tough to hear these
Oh my
details,
Lord, look
but,
at this.
You mentioned that individual you spoke with saw human remains out there at the scene. We're still waiting for confirmation from officials as to the fatalities, but the images are just horrific at this point. Siafa, describe for us the feeling in that community right now as people are waiting to hear, from officials the details as to whether there are any survivors and the injuries that people on the ground may have suffered.
Well, I've now spoken to two individuals tonight who say that they have seen human remains, and I, immediately asked them if they're okay, off camera. Are you okay? How are you going to be? And,
Oh my gosh.
I think the natural reaction, and they say, yeah, I'm going to be fine, but how do you really know how you're going to feel about something that horrible, in the days and weeks that come to pass? So it's, I don't wish that on anybody, having to witness that. You watch movies and you're so desensitized to things of that nature, but to actually witness that in real life, perhaps blocks from where you live, I cannot even begin to imagine what that does to a person. And it's so tragic. And it just happened about a mile from us right now.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That brings to mind a little boy that Carrie talked to. I believe his name was Declan. He said he saw the plane go down. He saw the lights. He saw the lights on it. He didn't know if they were just general lights on the plane. Didn't see any flames on the plane, but he just saw lights in the plane coming down. And he looked like he was 10 years old. That's something that he will remember probably for the rest of his life.
Yeah, that's got to shake you to your core. Our Josh Sanders also at the scene. Josh,
That's
earlier you were telling
wild.
us that Governor Josh Shapiro was on his way to provide any
That's
details that he
wild.
could share
Look
with us.
at
Tell us what you
that.
know.
Yeah, just got another update from the governor's office. He should be here in another 10 minutes. They're just working logistics on
So the
getting the governor
governor's
here to
just on
obviously,
delay.
tell everyone just what he knows and if he's been in touch with the White House. I have spoken to a source in the White House who says the president is en route to Palm Beach right now, Florida, and I'm working to get details to see if the President Trump has indeed been briefed on the situation here. I was touched earlier when I believe Joe Holden said this was a Friday night. This was a Friday night 3 hours ago. A very busy area here.
My
People getting
Lord.
ready for probably a much needed weekend after the week that this entire country has had in light of what's happened earlier this week in our nation's capital. And now you have this, and we do know that there were 6 souls, 6 people on that plane, that medical flight.
One of them was
headed
a
to Missouri.
kid.
We don't know how many fatalities. You heard from Mayor Sherrell
That's
Parker
so
here
sad.
about 25-30 minutes ago, giving us some basic information of what they know right now. But one of the biggest things that I heard the mayor echo and continue to encourage people is if you aren't involved in this area, if you don't live here, if you're not a first responder or someone who needs to be here, don't be here right now. Don't be here right now, because there is so much information that they're gathering. We talked about the debris field. Where we are right now, our crew, we're obviously on the other side of Roosevelt Boulevard, where there's a number of media outlets here waiting to hear from Governor Josh Shapiro and officials. And, when I got here, I was about a 10, 15 minute walk away from here. I couldn't get here on with the car. I had to walk here, and what I saw was, again, where the plane had made impact, a couple row homes that were affected, where there was that fire that fire officials had put out.
Thank you so much, Hide and
And
Seek.
you
Thank
could
you for
see
being a member
debris
for 9
30,
months.
40, 50 yards
And thank you for
away,
being a part of the
in
community.
the Macy's, the Ross, the Roosevelt
Thank you
Mall
for being
parking lot.
here. Oh my
And
gosh.
again, just not,
Condolences to
not
all.
having any details, but broadly just speaking with one law enforcement official that just said there could be remains of those that were impacted by this crash throughout that parking lot and throughout this area. As they continue to investigate. So
Patricia
again, just to go
says that-
back, we should hear from Governor Josh Shapiro. I'm told in about 10 minutes. Obviously, we will continue
My
to let
Lord.
you guys know and let everybody watching us right now
My
when that happens,
Lord.
because I'm sure that the governor is going to want to, share what he knows right now and express, where his heart is, where his mind is right now. Just as everyone, this is a very surreal
Wow.
moment for many people. And guys, I am seeing some movement when it comes to some of these, some of the officers. So I'm wondering if they're getting ready to have the governor come over here. I'm going to toss it back to you because I want to get this mic set up and get us ready for that. All right.
Josh, you go ahead and get set up, and we will get back to you.
Oh
We have a
my
number of
gosh.
reporters there at this tragic scene.
Oh my gosh. Oh, it's just seeing that right there. Look at this. This
Not
is just
having any details, but broadly just speaking with
Look at
one law
that.
enforcement official that just said there could be remains of those that were
What's up, Headphone?
impacted by this crash.
Thank you, Patricia.
Throughout that parking lot and throughout this area as they continue to investigate. So again, just to go back, we should hear from Governor Josh Shapiro. I'm told in about 10 minutes. Obviously, we will continue to, let you guys know and let everybody
Oh
watching
my
this right now
gosh.
when
Oh
that
my
happens. Because I'm sure that the
gosh.
governor.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's the worst video. Hold on. Let's go to the scanner here real quick. Oh my gosh. Oh, that video. That is.
Officers have transported that juvenile and the father to the hospital.
They should blur that Come on, Philadelphia. Blur that video out,
Top
please.
29X, do we have a media staging area?
Please
Gonna
blur.
be at the office next.
Oh my
Need
god.
you office maxes?
I wish they would blur that video out.
Roosevelt and Cotman on the east side of the boulevard. 161.
They need to.
Yeah, this is a location for the rally point for all personnel responders.
They need to blur that video out.
Governor is going to want to, share what he knows right now and express, where his heart is, where his mind is right now. Just as everyone. This is.
All right,
I
hold
don't
on.
need anybody at the command post.
Oh my
Calvin
god.
and Calvert.
Oh my god. Where's the fucking? I gotta get past this. This is not.
Night.
Yeah, Janelle and Yuki, we're still in Bustleton, just off of
Oh
Cotman.
my
and
god.
these
I
two
don't even
gentlemen,
want to see that
co-workers,
video
I believe,
again.
friends,
I do not
were
want to
walking
see that
by and
video
wanted
again.
to share something with us. This is Lewis, right? Yeah.
Oh my
All right.
god.
Tell us what you saw tonight, Lewis.
We were just driving around and came through the clouds pretty much just out of nowhere, and it just dive bombed straight to the ground. It was pretty crazy. Almost
video.
you could say it looked pretty intentional because planes just don't fall out of the sky like that. You know what I mean?
And you saw the fireball?
Yeah, I saw the fireball and everything. I was right up the road pretty much, and it was pretty insane. You know what I mean?
I had a woman tell me a little while ago that the intensity, the brightness in the sky was unlike something she'd seen in quite some time. Can you add anything to that? How bright was the sky?
Yeah, it was. It just lit up. Big mushroom cloud that you can see for a couple of seconds. Obviously, it caused a lot of damage. There's a lot of cops here and everything like that. But yeah, it's just just out of this world. You know what I mean? You don't see that every day, especially in a big city like this.
Oh my
Braden,
God.
from your perspective, what can you add?
I mean, it looked like it was falling for a little while because it came out of the clouds going in a straight nosedive. And the second it came through the clouds, it was probably only another second before it hit the ground. And it basically turned the night today.
Did you guys immediately leave the scene? Not the scene, but the area. What happened next?
We moved closer. We want to see the action.
You know what I mean? Make sure everybody's all right.
What did you see at that point?
At that point, it was just, cops were very responsive. They were here right away. A lot of people, just a lot of, carnage almost, you can say, just a lot of terror.
Yeah, we'll be talking about the
people running around.
People running around, just looking for a place to go, make sure there's nothing else happening. You know what I mean?
And why are you guys still out here so many hours after the fact?
Just, like we said, we might get a call, come back, check it out, everything like that.
All right, you guys stay safe, and thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you, guys. So again, two more gentlemen who witnessed this horrible tragedy, and you can tell from their demeanor, also very sullen. It's just a lot to take in.
It really is. It really is. And when he said it turned the night into day, that really hit me. That explosion must have been massive.
And the fear, the terror, people not knowing what happened as they saw that fireball just explode in the sky there. Siafa Lewis with those eyewitness accounts. Siafa, thank you so much for
Appreciate it, Siafa.
Oh, hold on. We got
Joe Holden is back with us on the phone now. Joe?
Hi, guys. And before we even play this video, I just want to.
Hold on, we got another update here.
Who's getting any ideas to come see what's up? Don't even try it. There are people who live in this area who may need another place to stay tonight.
All right, there's a new statement.
There's a whole line of row homes on the right of your screen. As firefighters take this gurney, I don't believe there's a victim on it.
Oh my gosh, I don't want to see that video
As
again.
these firefighters move by. This is Cheyenne Corinne's camera.
Oh.
And so crews are just kind of making their way through and still probably looking for anybody who needs help. The mayor was the only one who spoke at a press conference, I want to say about 30 minutes ago. Let's go back to Mayor Sherelle Parker as she addressed the media.
I want to go through some basic facts about what we know.
Hold on, we're gonna go back to this. I thought that was new.
To watch exactly syncs up with what they describe. You see at a door of a row home in Northeast Philadelphia, a husband and wife, a couple, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever they are. Forgive me for the assumption.
Straight down and then it goes back.
There's a wind chime playing. We don't have the sound, but there in the clouds is a searchlight.
And we're watching along with you, Joe, as you see that
need to get my
huge
coffee
just light
thing
flare
ready.
up in the air as the plane nosedives to the ground there. And you can see the shock on their faces as well.
The gentleman looks like he hears something,
Yeah.
and then he turns around, and that's what happened. Wow.
He hears the roar, the throttle of that Learjet engines, and then the successive explosion.
Here's the roar of the throttle.
I count 3 to 4
Straight down and back.
after as impact happens.
Man.
Let's watch here.
Man.
That's unbelievable.
Right
Unbelievable.
day, 2, 3, and then somewhat of a fourth here. And I am on a delay watching this over a monitor. But again, you can hear it down to wind chimes, and they're talking, and then this.
And just like the gentleman said, it did.
Well,
It turned night into day.
just
With
like
that
last
massive
night.
explosion, and we saw the video. It turned into a mushroom
Just
cloud
like last
as
night,
well.
we got
You saw them go back inside, probably
ATC
wondering what
audio.
just happened here. What was that exactly? All of the people in that area wondering what happened. As we continue to get more details, we do
Here we
want
go,
to know.
here we go, here we go. Hold
Josh
on.
Sanders said he was in touch with some of his
Here we go, we
sources
got
in the
audio.
White House who say that President Trump is actually on his way
Hold
to
on.
Florida. But
Sorry,
the
I'm
president
trying to
did
do all this
post
by
a
myself here.
statement on his social media platform, Truth Social, saying, "quote So sad to see the play go."
All right, hold on. There's I'm gonna share this real quick with you. Here, let me flip this around. All right, so here's the status here. Benny Johnson on Twitter. And this is the audio. We lost an aircraft. Audio release shows air traffic control trying to reach The Learjet. Holy hell. Hold on a minute.
Medevac, med service 0.
Hold on 1 second. Let me oh my gosh, hold on.
Medevac, med service 056 on departure, turn right heading 290, runway 24, clear for takeoff, wind 25010. Medevac, med service 056 affirmative. On departure, turn right heading 290, runway 24, clear for takeoff. Medevac, med service 056, contact Philly departure 123.8.
123.8, Mike Tango Sierra 056 Medevac. Thank you, good day.
Medevac, med service 056, Northeast Tower, contact Philly 123.8. Medevac, med service Northeast Tower. Medevac, med service 056, Northeast Tower, you on frequency?
Medevac, Mike Tango Sierra 056, Northeast Tower, how do you hear this transmission?
Medevac, med service 056, Northeast Tower.
Turkey 6098, Foxtrot, Northeast Ground, Roger. Stand by one. I'll get back to you when I can.
What are they? Can barely even hear him.
Approach to runway 24. What's going on down there?
Hold on 1 second. Let's go back to this part because you can hear him pretty good right here.
123.8, Mike Tango Sierra 056 Medevac. Thank you, good day.
They sound just fine. Was there a fire on board before? Because maybe would the fire have something affected their feed? Because look, watch right here. This is how they sound.
123.8, Mike Tango Sierra 056 Medevac. Thank you, good day.
Okay, now you go to here. This is the next response that they have. It's drastically different. That's completely different. Let's listen to it again.
0.8.
123.8, Mike Tango Sierra 056 Medevac. Thank you, good day.
Everything sounds fine. Then they keep repeating, right? Here. Let's go back. Here, we'll just go back to the beginning.
Medevac, med service 056, on departure, turn right heading 290, runway 24, clear for takeoff, wind 25010. Medevac, med service 056, affirmative. On departure, turn right heading 290, runway 24, clear for takeoff. Medevac, med service 056, contact Philly departure 123.8.
123.8, Mike Tango Sierra 056 Medevac. Thank you, good day.
Medevac, med service 056, Northeast Tower, contact Philly 123.8. Medevac, med service Northeast Tower. Medevac, med service 056, Northeast Tower, you on frequency?
Medevac, Mike Tango Sierra 056, Northeast Tower, how do you hear this transmission?
Medevac, med service 056, Northeast Tower. Turkey 6098, Foxtrot, Northeast Ground, Roger. Stand by one. I'll get back to you when I can.
Approach to runway 24. What's going on down there?
Position 755. We have a lost aircraft. We're not exactly sure what happened, so we're trying to figure it out. For now,
Whoa, okay, so they lost the... So it literally... In between... Let's see here. Everything's fine. So from 31.
Medevac med service 056, Northeast Tower. Contact Philly 123.8. Medevac med service Northeast Tower. Medevac med service 056, Northeast Tower. You on frequency?
Medevac Mike Tango Sierra 056 Northeast Tower. How do you hear this transmission?
Medevac med service 056, Northeast Tower.
Yeah, they're spazzing. Like, what's going on here? But that dude doesn't sound panicked. Air traffic control is panicked. This dude right here does not sound panicked. Listen to this. Let me mute the music for a second. I don't hear panic in this voice. I hear with a bunch of fuzz. It's almost like he giggles for a second right here. Huh. Like a huh. I don't hear Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. I don't hear any of that. But dude, if you're flying, you're fine right here because you acknowledge the departure.
Departure 123.8.
123.8, Mike Tango Sierra 056 Medevac. Thank you. Good day.
It's like he's saying the same thing, but it's more fuzzy in the second. 30 seconds. So from 30 seconds in 30 seconds, there's no responses. 30 seconds after that, okay. And then you hear this. Like, okay, yes, what's going on? And then all of a sudden they're like, we have a downed aircraft?
56098 Foxtrot Northeast Ground, Roger. Stand by one. I'll get back to you when I can.
Yeah, like he's, okay, bye. Now.
Approach to runway 24, what's going on down there?
Position 755. We have a lost aircraft. We're not exactly sure what happened, so we're trying to figure it out. For now, the field is going to be closed, so no inbounds or outbounds.
So you're telling me that? Okay, thank you, bye. Like what? And then there's a downed aircraft? This is the response as it's going, because right there is a downed aircraft.
56098 Foxtrot Northeast Ground, Roger. Stand by one. I'll get back to you when I can.
See, and that, oh my, I think that's when somebody noticed that it went down. It's going down. And then right there.
What's going on down there?
This little spot right here is where it crashed. I bet it crashed right there. I bet that's where it crashed, is when the audio stops right there. Because listen, just a couple seconds later, what's going on down there? Oh, we have a lost aircraft.
Approach to runway 24, what's going on down there?
Position 755. We have a lost aircraft.
Huh? Yeah, this don't make sense. Let me see. Is the governor there yet? Let me see. On the phone. Who's on the phone? Oh my gosh, they just showed that video again.
Voice recorder.
Chris, what do you make of the fact that this plane went down at the angle that it did? The video that we've been showing shows it going nosediving, essentially at a 45-degree angle. The fact that it went down so quickly after takeoff.
I'm gonna have to keep my hand on that damn
you know,
coffee thing.
I'd be speculating as to what happened after takeoff. It certainly appears to be a situation where the pilots were not in control of the airplane. So, what could cause a situation like that? Investigators will want to know if the airplane stalled. Did something happen on the flight deck to one of the pilots? Could there have been a medical emergency? You know, there's all kinds of things that could have gone wrong. It appears clear for the plane to come out of the sky like a missile like that. That
Yeah, and then you mix that with the frickin' audio. Oh my gosh.
something led to a loss of control, a loss of normal flight.
So your in professional opinion, this could be a very, very long investigation.
And TSB investigations typically last about a year. Generally speaking, answers come, but they don't come quickly, and everybody wants to know right now. That's one of the frustrating parts for people, I think, when they're waiting for an NTSB investigation, is, you know, they'll tell you what they see fairly quickly when they get on scene, like we're seeing playing out here in Washington, D.C. right now. They'll tell us what they know. They're not going to know a lot right away. And then it'll be 30 days or so, and then we'll get a preliminary report. That'll be a statement of facts. That'll be what they know at that point. We'll draw no conclusions. And then the final conclusions won't be drawn until that report is done. That typically is a year.
You're
and what
right,
complicates this, Chris, is the fact that this accident occurred in a very densely populated area of the Northeast Philadelphia community there. And there is quite a wide debris field as well. So that's something else that investigators will be dealing with as they start collecting evidence and collecting the debris.
You know, the NTSB is very good at what they do. So, you know, I think what is most remarkable when you look at where this plane came down and the way it came down, and the amount, the size of the explosion we saw related to this plane, there's a lot of fuel on board, clearly, is that it came down, largely it appears in a street. You know, think about if that's a row of row homes, if that's an apartment building, we are talking about a much different tragedy.
Wow. Unbelievable. Chris, stand by real quick, because I just want to review with our viewers that 6 people, as you mentioned, were on the plane. 6 people, 2 pilots, a child patient, and a family member. And we just confirmed that juvenile patient finished treatment in Philadelphia.
No.
And is going to be transported back to Mexico.
Oh, wow.
Pass that on.
Just heartbreaking to hear.
Finished the treatment as well, and then headed.
These details,
Oh, my
and we also have
gosh.
some new pictures.
All right,
as
we're
we
still
talk with
waiting
you,
for the governor
Chris,
here.
from State Representative Jared Solomon, showing the aftermath of the scene here. And Chris,
Oh,
I don't know
my
if you can see what we're
gosh.
seeing,
Look
but
at
there
that.
are the shells, charred shells of what were cars on the ground here, cars that caught fire after the plane crashed to the ground. And we're told that there are a number of injuries from people who were on the ground at the time that the plane went down as well.
Chris, would you have any idea of how many pounds of jet fuel would be on a Learjet 55 like this? You said it was an older model. I think we had reports earlier that if it was full, it could be something like 7,000 pounds.
Look at this.
That sounds in the realm of possibility. I mean, the Lear can also have an external fuel tank. But yeah, you had thousands of pounds of fuel most likely on that airplane. It was gearing up for, you know, a flight towards the, you know, a long flight for that airplane.
Wow.
And as we were looking at these new images and video coming into our newsroom from some of our viewers who were there at the scene, we're seeing businesses that look as though they were pretty badly damaged as well, in addition to these cars, those homes that caught fire. Chris, tell us, the NTSB now on the ground. We also know the ATF, they're there too. What would be the first steps? At this point, we know first responders are still assessing injuries, trying to account for people in those homes. But what will be the first step for NTSB investigators tonight?
Well, you know, the NTSB will wait until it's clear that there is no one in immediate danger, that people that have been
Thank
accounted
you,
for, that
Cynthia.
there aren't injured that need to be treated. So once that sort of that active first responder emergency scene has been handled, they'll take over. What they're going to want to understand is, and they should be able to get this information, was that plane equipped with a cockpit voice recorder, a cockpit data recorder? If yes, they're going to want to try to find the section of that airplane where those devices would be. Those devices are designed to go through a crash, so they can get beaten up pretty badly and still yield information.
Yeah, but the air
So
traffic
you'd want to find
control,
that,
man, that's
as quickly as
wild.
you can. And then they're
Let
going
me
to want
see
to
if
look
we
at
got some
whatever
other
other
updates here.
they would call perishable evidence might
I'm not
be there.
seeing any.
Things that you need to collect quickly, and from there, then you can start a methodical forensic investigation. They will likely take the wreckage somewhere and go through it.
Could you stress the importance of what our mayor has said as far as when it comes to finding and seeing any evidence in the debris field, not to touch it, but to call authorities?
Yeah, think about it basically as any part of that airplane is part of what amounts to a PSI episode. You know, they need to know what that piece is, and that could be a crucial piece. So, they don't touch it. Notify the police. They will send somebody to get it.
And Chris, as you're talking, we are watching again this just horrifying video of the plane going down and that fireball in the sky. This happened just after 6 o'clock tonight in Northeast Philadelphia.
Chris, we appreciate your reporting both with us now and, of course, after that mid-air collision over the Potomac River. Thank you. And we will, of course, get back.
Right. We're going to be talking about that tonight,
All right, Chris,
too.
thank you so much. Chris Van Cleve,
But this
our
happened.
CBS correspondent.
That's right.
Wow.
So we were hearing earlier that the Governor Josh Shapiro, he's on his way to the scene. We're
Like an
expecting
hour
to hear
ago.
from him minutes from now. But if you are just
Yeah,
joining
this
us,
was
it
an
is
hour
now
ago.
9:47 on this Friday night. It's now been
Why is it
about
taking so long?
3.5 hours since this first unfolded. We got reports of this
What's up,
plane that was
Katrina?
taking off from
April?
Northeast Airport in Philadelphia, heading for Missouri, a medical flight with 6 people on board, a child who was the
What's up,
patient,
Piper?
one of the
Yes.
child's family members, 2 doctors, 2 pilots, when that plane went down, crashing near Cotman Avenue and Roosevelt Boulevard.
Oh, shoot.
The owners of the plane
Oh my
company,
gosh.
telling us that
I
they
got it in
cannot
time.
at this point confirm whether
I'm
there
not
were
playing
any
that video
survivors,
when it shows.
from this crash. It does not sound good. They say
I'm
they're
not
still
playing
waiting
that
to
video.
notify family members of those who were on board.
And again, we have just confirmed that a juvenile patient finishing treatment in Philadelphia was on that plane with a family member and 2 doctors and 2 pilots. And that child was going to be transported back to Mexico. Then this happened after 6 o'clock this evening.
6:08
Moments
p.m.
after takeoff, this Learjet 55 crashes to the ground on a 45-degree angle. Very, very early, no answers right now. Investigators, the NTSB, FAA, will be on the scene trying to figure this all out. Why something like this happened just moments after takeoff.
And this is a tragedy on just so many levels. I mean, for this child who had just, we have some of the best children's hospitals here in Philadelphia. This child from Mexico, you can imagine finishing their treatment, their family member probably eager to get home back to their loved ones there. And for this to happen,
This is wild.
as their families wait for news, maybe not even realizing what happened. And then also for those who are on the ground here, we're not sure how many people who were in that Northeast
people
Philadelphia
saw a
community
lot,
at the
I'm
time, how many
sure.
of them may have been injured. But as we've been hearing from our reporters who have been working their sources, who have been speaking with witnesses at the scene, it sounds like the outcome here was grim tonight.
Wow. We're still waiting for officials to get back with this. As you mentioned, Governor Shapiro will be speaking soon. He's on his way. The mayor has spoken already. I'm sure she will return as well. But this is what they will be discussing. This horrific accident that
We
happened
got
this
the
evening on
Philadelphia
Friday night.
scanner up here at the same
A
time.
busy Friday night in this Northeast Philadelphia community, right in front of the mall, the Roosevelt Mall, near the entrance. And then moments after takeoff, just after 6 o'clock, 6:07, one ring camera reported. And here's a family that heard something turned around, and
See
then
them. You see them. And to clarify,
have,
the flight was
we
going
have that
from
all shut
Philadelphia
off.
to Springfield, Missouri,
I don't know
but
if that
the
could be from
child
occupants coming out of the houses or not. But we
was
have
being
things
treated here in
shut
Philadelphia and
down
was eventually
with
going to be
people there.
transported to
We're
Mexico,
going to have
according
to
to
take a look at the
the
alleys
sources
again.
who have been communicating with us.
All right,
But
vehicle
it is just
came from
heartbreaking,
Washington
Yuki,
Avenue.
especially after the week that the country
He
has had with
redirected off the
the
scene there
crash
and
in,
somehow
outside of
made his
Washington,
way.
D.C.,
So
and
let's
now to see
notify
this
our
right
alleyways,
here in
make
our
sure we
own
don't have
backyards as
anybody
we look at
coming
these
up.
images
So
on the
any
screen right
personnel
now,
in the
the fire
7200 block,
in that
make sure they
community. And you
spread
can only
out
imagine
and
the
that
fear and the
alleyways are shut
concern
down.
and how frightened the people might have been on the ground. We
Oh,
heard
here we
people
go.
screaming as they saw this. We're
Oh no,
looking
that's
right
not
now
her.
at the
Wait a minute. Wait
mayor,
a
the
minute.
governor, and the
Yep.
police
Here
commissioner
we go.
about to come up to the
Here,
microphones here as we
Here, let me
can
turn
get an
down
update from
the.
them on
Let
the
me turn down the
situation at this
scanner
point. Let's
here.
take a listen.
Let me turn down the
Again,
scanner.
for joining us. I want to give a quick recap of the information we shared earlier, and then we will give you some additional facts. An aircraft went down in the vicinity of Roosevelt Mall on Cottman Avenue, and it did occur shortly after 6 p.m. Again, we have no reports on the number of fatalities, so we are asking everyone for their thoughts and prayers for all who may have been impacted and affected by this tragedy. Several dwellings and vehicles were also impacted, and so we are urging people, particularly those families who live in the surrounding area, to please stay home if possible. If you see any debris, and those who are conducting the investigations have repeated consistently, please do not touch anything because it is still an active investigation. Just call 911, please, if you see anything. Investigators and all of our federal, state, and local partners are working as expeditiously as possible during this very difficult time. New information that we want to share with you, that shelter is now available at the Samuel Fells High School located at 5500 Langdon Street. Samuel Fells High School, 5500 Langdon Street. If anyone has been impacted and you need shelter and support, it is readily available for you. In terms of our federal and state partners, I want to say a special thank you to the NTSB. They are here on site now. The FAA, the Pennsylvania State Police, Pennsylvania DEP, of course, our police and fire departments and OEM. I am here with Governor Shapiro. We've been in constant contact since it started. You'll be hearing from him shortly. But I also want to say a special thank you to our additional partners who we have spoken with, our federal leaders, U.S. Senators Fetterman and McCormick. Thank you so very much. All hands on deck. They wanted to make sure any and everything that we needed from the federal government, those supports and services are available. Congressman Evans, Boyle, and Scanlon, our congressional delegation, a special thank you to each of you for your support. I also need to affirm that locally here, Senator Joe Picozzi, Rep. Solomon, Reps. Nielsen, Doherty, who represents this area, and Bellman, Commissioner Dealey, and Council Member Driscoll was present. If there was ever a time when we needed to affirm what the One Philly philosophy means, the time is now, and I'm very proud about how our federal, state, and all of our local partners are working hard to deal with this tragedy. I now want to turn it over to our governor and to say thank you, Governor, for your support and being here with us this evening.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you. The mayor preaches about One Philly. She talks about a unified approach to governing every day. What you're seeing here is a unified response to an awful aviation disaster. For as awful as that aviation disaster was, tonight we also saw the best of Philly. We saw neighbor helping neighbor. We saw Pennsylvanians looking out for one another. I want to reaffirm the comments the mayor said about all of the different agencies working together. And I want to especially thank and salute Philly Fire. and Philly police who did an extraordinary job this evening. We know that there will be loss in this region, and we want to offer our thoughts and our serious prayers for those who are grieving at this moment. The mayor knows, and I want you all to know, that the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania stands firmly with our partners in the city. We have, at the request of Commissioner Bethel, 45 state troopers who are on the ground right here in Northeast Philly. We have 25 members of our PennDOT team who are here right now. We have members of the Pennsylvania Emergency Management Authority who are here, including our director, Randy Padfield, who joins me behind here. We also have members of DEP, the Department of Environmental Protection, who are here to make sure that any hazardous materials are addressed. And as you heard the mayor reference, we're joined by several state representatives and senators. I want to thank them. They will make sure that whatever is needed for this community gets to this community. I also spoke earlier this evening with the United States Secretary of Transportation, Secretary Duffy, who offered his full support to Northeast Philly. And as the mayor alluded to, he has dispatched 4 members of the FAA to Philly, and there are 4 members of NTSB on their way as well. We have all the resources that we need. And again, as the mayor always says, one Philly, we are unified in our approach to deal with this emergency. And again, I'll just end by sharing my prayers, the prayers of my wife, Lori, our First Lady, and on behalf of 13 million Pennsylvanians, we are all here for Northeast Philly tonight in this very, very difficult moment. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you all. When we have additional information to report, we will come back and give another briefing. But now we want to let our federal, state, and local partners do their jobs and go to work. We'll report back to you when we have more information. Thank you all so very much for your patience and understanding.
Thank you. Mayor Parker and city officials addressing the situation this evening.
And to recap what the mayor had to say, still waiting for answers here. She says she cannot at this point confirm the number of fatalities. So clearly the emergency responders still assessing the situation, trying to account for those who may have been in the homes there and also the 6 people.
I'm going to turn the scanner back up.
Governor Josh Shapiro calling this an awful aviation
Thank you, Michael.
disaster.
Thank you for being here. I'm going to turn the scanner back up.
Saying also that there will be loss. There will be loss in this region.
My
but
Lord.
He also did say this region has the state's full support.
Oh, my God.
That's what the mayor, the community, everyone needed to hear after something like this that happened just after 6 o'clock.
I know, just after last night too, right?
4 hours ago.
All right, and as we are waiting for more updates from officials there on the ground.
Oh my gosh, I was
seeing
late.
From our assignment desk that Temple University is confirming that 6 people were taken to one of Temple's campuses. 3 people were treated, 3 people were released. Treated and released, and 3 people are in fair condition. So presumably those were the people, some of those people were on the ground at the time.
Oh my gosh, they keep showing it. They keep
showing
it.
Details from officials, but Temple University Hospital Public Relations saying that 6 people were treated at one of their hospitals, 3 treated and released, and 3 are in fair condition.
And just a reminder, and to reiterate, the mayor also said, especially if you know someone who may live in that community, for those who have been impacted one way or another and you need help, Fells High School is the place to congregate and go right now. That's over at 55th and Langdon. Fells High School for those who have been impacted by this horrific event in our city tonight.
Our Carrie Corrado, she's been at the scene for us all evening.
No, I'm doing that because if you, oh my gosh. I'm putting the coffee. Okay. I put the coffee up for a reason because I'm not trying to show certain things, even though other organizations might. And when I notice something, I just use the coffee cup to cover it up while it's being shown. I'm not going to say. You can pretty much put it together, what's flying through the air, and I just don't want to have that on my screen. So that's why I have the coffee cup. I'll try and work on something else that I can use. It's just something I didn't know I was going to even have to use tonight. But I can't. I'm gonna clip that part of the video out when this is done too.
There, Carrie, tell us what you see and what you're
I
hearing
just
from where
can't.
you
I
are
can't
right
show
now.
it. I can't show it. I listen. Other people may not see it, but I saw it, and I don't want to see it again.
You know, I've been speaking with a lot of witnesses the moment I got here, and right now we have Michael joining us, who says he saw the whole thing. Right?
I don't want to see that
Can you
video
bring me
again.
back to kind of the very beginning when you knew something was wrong.
I mean, I was just talking to my mom in the pull through right next to Dunkin' Donuts, and all of a sudden we just heard this whirring and then this crash, and it was an explosion right next to Dunkin' Donuts, and everyone just started screaming. My mom told me to back up, back up, back up, and they just got their nails done. They don't want to mess their nails up. I'm backing up. I'm trying to find a place to park, help someone, because it's who I am. I help people. And all of a sudden, I just see bodies. I see parts of bodies. I see medical equipment. It was a medical plane now, obviously. And it was a bad scene. I was running around. I gave the shirt off my back to help someone. It's a head laceration because I just didn't want them to bleed out. It was a kid in a red car right next to me. If that car wasn't there, I possibly wouldn't be here. My wife wouldn't be here. My mom wouldn't be here. Something would have happened to my car. I was scared to death.
That had to be really hard to witness it. How are you doing after seeing all of that?
Well, I had to go home and get a new shirt on because it's freezing out here. But
who cares?
It made me very jittery and glad
About
for
your
my
damn shirt.
daughter and son because I'm a dad. Just seeing that stuff was horrendous for me.
A lot of people would run away when they saw flames or smoke or something like that. You chose to run towards it.
Yeah, let's go to Fox. Let's go to Fox.
No, but I need a source to get
This is when you see the best of
Let's go to
Philadelphia. We
Fox.
talked about this earlier. Neighbor
Okay,
looking
I got it,
after
I got it.
neighbor.
Maybe
people
they won't
coming
show it over and
together
over.
to help each other. You're looking at video
All right.
shortly after that plane
Just
just
be advised, I'm getting another
out of the
scene,
sky, and you just see
Walker
this
and
huge
Ohio,
wildfire, the
which
wreckage
block
strewn
apparently
across
gonna be,
Roosevelt
you know,
Boulevard,
right
Cottman
where that
Avenue. It's a half-mile area of wreckage. And the governor saying that they are providing all the resources that are needed. They have 45 state police
CBS
troopers,
Philadelphia.
25 members of PennDOT, members from the Emergency Management Office, from the State Emergency Management Office, also the Department of Environmental Protection to address any hazardous material concerns because we have all this wreckage, this plane wreckage just lying in the street here of Philadelphia. The mayor telling people don't
Let me
touch
wait
it.
till that interview's done, and then I'll switch
If
back
you
over.
come across a piece of wreckage as they try to piece together what exactly went.
And this is a very busy area. People live around here, work around here, shop around here. So there were a lot of witnesses who saw this moments after it happened.
The good rises over the bad. It was good to hear that. Carrie, thank you so much. Helping out. That's, he said, that's who he is. And that's what we do as a people.
We're stepping up to help in the time of need. All right. Our Siafa Lewis also at another location near the crash site there. Siafa, what are you seeing where you are right now?
Janelle and Yuki, we are at Cottman and Bustleton. Yuki, I spoke to you, I don't know, 2.5
What's up,
hours
April?
ago or so. And we showed you the massive presence, the police and fire response, and you can see how much it's died down. How many of the fire trucks have left? How many of the hazmat vehicles have left since then? So it feels as though it's dying down a lot right now from where it was a couple hours ago. The rain has also subsided for the most part. Listening to the gentleman that Carrie Carrata was just speaking to, he spoke to the gravity of the situation as a father having to see some of the things he saw tonight. A little while ago, we also ran into another gentleman, much
Oh
younger
my
gentleman,
gosh.
who also had to or was faced with the horrific situation and some of the things he saw. Let's listen to what he had to say right
Oh
now.
my gosh.
First, I heard a loud boom, and I seen like the little spark out of my window. So
I just saw what you were talking about, Patricia. That's oh my gosh. That's horrible. That's horrible. That's horrible.
Hurry up. I ran right over here to see what's going on.
Oh my
I just seen
gosh.
flames, smoke, and then I was chilling over there. And then I was with my friend and all that. We had seen like a little kid. He ran out the fire. I want to send my condolences out to anybody who lost their peoples and all that. For sure, it's just tragic. Definitely hurt. And it was crazy. Like me and my mom and my niece, we was just on the road 5 minutes before it happened, coming down off 95. Just on the road, and then 5 minutes later, that's when that happened. So it was like, dang, that could have been nice.
How do you feel about everything that you witnessed tonight?
Tragic. It hurt.
Yeah, it is.
Even
Oh
though
my
it wasn't none of
gosh.
my people that got hurt and all that, it still hurt. It's crazy.
That young gentleman did not want to share his name with us, but he also shared some of the horrific things that he saw. We did not share that with all of our viewers tonight, but again, it just speaks to the gravity of this situation here in the Northeast tonight, and what the residents here, many of them unfortunately had to face with and had to see tonight. And that doesn't even speak to the tragedy of those involved who lost their lives tragically tonight.
Yes, Siafa Lewis. And as the mayor shared during that news conference a short time ago, they do not have the number of fatalities at this point, but the governor saying we know they will be lost.
One man said it in 2 words: tragic, and it hurts. And it does. Siafa, thank you so much. Thank you so much. We want to check in, I believe, now with Josh Sanders, who's standing by near the scene as well. Josh?
Yuki, good evening. We obviously just heard from Mayor Sherrell Parker and Governor Josh Shapiro. One thing that struck me about the governor and what he shared is this is an example, a tragic example, but it really the heart of Philadelphia is with us right now when it comes to neighbors helping neighbors. The Governor Josh Shapiro said that he hasn't been in contact with the newly appointed Transportation Secretary Duffy, that there are 45 state troopers here. There are 25 members of PennDOT. He shared that the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania is here and behind the city of Philadelphia with resources and whatever they need. Obviously, you did just say that, Mayor Parker, we don't have details on how many people, in fact, how many victims there are. We know that, again, 6 people on that plane headed to Missouri. But, me just listening to the sound from Kerry and Siafa, people that they've talked to, obviously we've been here waiting for just officials to give us update, but you really get a sense of what people are going through right now. This is a very surreal moment. They are just taking everything in. They are shocked right now with what's going on. And obviously the video that we've seen throughout the night, the past, going on 4 hours now, a video that we've seen of what transpired here 4 hours ago. This is a tough night for our city, but to have Mayor Parker, to have the governor here, to have the support of the Commonwealth, and also to know that the President of the United States has been briefed as well, and that everyone is sharing their thoughts and prayers. Also, I think an important note: we don't know how many people have been impacted, right? But
oh my
Mayor
gosh,
Sherrell Parker did say that anyone affected, there is a shelter at Samuel Fells High School, and that's important for people to know. So if for some reason people are watching this right now, or they're talking to friends that they have been affected, that they need help, they need resources, that's where they should go, Samuel Fells High School, guys. So it's, and again, Mayor Parker said that they would provide more updates when they have information to share. We will obviously be working with our sources to figure out when there will be information to share, and we'll obviously bring that to you. And right now you can see some of these engines coming through. This is all hands are on deck right now. And this not only impacts obviously the people that live here, it impacts these first responders. I just see some of the looks in their faces and their eyes right now as they're taking everything in of what has happened.
I got a lot of different feeds going on here at the same time. I'm trying to see if there's anything.
They're just, they're processing what's going on. But to go back to what our governor said, and I think this is the silver lining in all of this right now: neighbors helping neighbors. We have to show up. We have to show out. We have to be with each other right now, and provide that support. And again, I just want to echo this before I throw it back to you guys. What Mayor Parker said: if you don't need to be here, if you have not been, if you don't live here, if you're not have been affected here, you don't need to be here. You need to let first responders, officials do what they have to do right now as they investigate and determine, what happened and how they can help people here. Guys.
Josh, I'm sure many of those first responders, male and female, are probably from that area. And when I was growing up, that area in Silk is called the Great Northeast. They will rise. They will rise.
All right. And now our Carrie Corrado standing by at another location near the crash site. Carrie, you were saying earlier that some of the emergency personnel has started to disperse from that area. What are you seeing right now?
Can you describe to me too, where people were running towards it to try to help? It was like neighbors looking out for neighbors. Is that what you saw?
Yes, it was a couple neighbors that I seen like trying to help other neighbors see what was going on in the area, because there's people that really care about each other over here, especially here. Like I know all of Philly, like, people get the wrong picture and stuff. People paint Philly, to be this terrible place. No, like people really do come together over here. This is really a place of brotherly love. I will say that, because in a crisis, everybody knows how to get together. Everybody, even through panic, all of that, everybody can get together and everybody can help one another. And
Thank you so much for joining us.
Of course.
So you, as you heard, neighbors were looking out for neighbors. Everyone was running there to try to help each other out.
That's what it's all about. That young man said it all. Said it all. Carrie, thank you. We're getting our first look at the debris up close. This plane landed in the Roosevelt Mall parking lot.
Wow.
And you can see the medical symbol that marked the side of the plane just ripped to shreds.
Yep, and that's a door. That's a door right there. See that little piece right there? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It disintegrated into a bunch of different pieces because of how fast it was going. It just disintegrated. And when you hear reports, that's why they're not showing some of the reports out there right now, because
displaced individuals are going to be located right now. Was it going to be at Fells, or are they still in the parking lot of Giant, or are they over at the second district?
we still got the scanner going too.
The victims are going to the second. There is some shelter at Fells, 6101 Algon, and then there was like some temporary shelter from the buses, the buses in the Giant parking lot there, 2201 Cotman.
Can you guys hear that okay? Make sure that info.
Find out from the command post if the SEPTA buses are going to be routed over to Fells.
That way that information can get out there. Can you guys hear the scanner pretty good? What's up, Bo?
Red hoodie, ski mask, black pants. 16 westbound on Dix. 2 victims, both adults, being scooped to Presby. Seen outside of Eddie's Bar on the highway.
Yeah, when you see this piece right here, and I'm hearing...
Just let the command post know that the investigation at Schomeyer and Walker is a failed assignment. There's some human remains on a pickup truck out there.
Oh my God! On a
From the 15th district unit, can we? I could hit the location so I can give them a more exact location, or is it?
On a truck. Yes, there's a lot.
Southeast corner on Schomeyer at Walker.
Okay.
15-2 4240 Schomeyer.
There's a lot of. All right, I'm seeing a lot of reports.
But I just want you to receive it.
There's a lot of reports of stuff just like this all over. Okay. And just like you heard that officer said, they found something on a truck just now. Oh man, these poor people.
Powerful images. 6 people on that plane, 2 doctors, 2 pilots, a child patient, and a family member. Just over 4 hours ago, going down after leaving the Northeast Philadelphia airport.
Here, we'll listen to the scanner while we'll let this
I'm gonna have
play.
to hold that real quick, all right?
Okay, that's what it's up with District Sergeant.
Again, if someone can relate to the investigative personnel, there's another scene, 4240 Shellmeyer, 4240 Shellmeyer.
Gosh, these poor people, what they're coming across. For the time being, I'm just going to let this scanner, and then if we see somebody getting interviewed, we'll unmute the television. Yeah, it was a child patient. 2 pilots, 2 doctors, a patient,
33, Mantos.
and a guardian. And oh my gosh, I got to get ready in case they show that video again. Because it looks like they're getting close.
Our residents from 7200 Calvary able to go home.
They're able to go home, but they're supposed to have an escort. They may not have gas.
If you want me to open up the phone lines, let me know. I will either have we'll either have the phone lines or the scanner. One or the other. Because otherwise each one's going to talk over the other.
All right, and from OEM right now, there is no transportation set up to take anyone to Fells at this time. Going to keep us advised if something gets arranged.
Wow, they ran out of transportation for.
Yeah, so that was a couple. What should I tell them?
They ran out of transportation for the shelter.
They're going home, or they're going to a shelter that was placed.
Oh my gosh, these people are going to be walking out in the middle of the freaking night.
What's the location where the officers were at?
Oh my gosh, this is turning into something way more than a plane crash.
See if 15 San Andy can send somebody over there and help us out.
Oh no.
Highway 3 is Highway 33. What do you need?
This is turning into something else.
The elderly couple, they're trying to get home on that block. They're just confused. They just want to go home. They will need to be escorted in.
This is nuts.
Highway 37. What is their address?
This is turning into a disaster zone. They ran out of transportation to take people that have been displaced to shelters. They're going to be walking out in the middle of a night. I mean, and what about the people that are scandalous, right? Oh my gosh, this is not good. And look at that fire, how much it reached. That is nuts. That is nuts. We thought last night was bad. Oh my gosh. What's going on? They haven't said anything for a minute on the scanner. I know. I got to get ready in case they show that. That's a really telling video right there. I got to get ready for the coffee cup in case they show that video again. They're not going to it now. So maybe they realize what they were.
Of course, a large perimeter. So let's check in now with Brianna Smith and the latest from there. Brianna. Yeah, Shari and Gray, first responders and agencies have been here for hours now, from the local to the state to the federal level, working hard to investigate the area. But it feels much calmer and quieter compared to when we first arrived here on scene. Before, this area was just covered with witnesses and bystanders taking video, remaining in disbelief at what they were seeing unfold.
This is wild, and
And
you
we
can
spoke
hear
to
the
some of those
jet
witnesses who
engines
say
just
they saw that
going full
explosion that lit up
blast.
the sky,
We'll
and
go
they
back
just
to
said
the
it was
audio of the air
unbelievable, and their
traffic
hearts
control here
go
in a
out
second.
to the family and friends who are impacted by this situation. And again, you can see it's still very much an active scene here, and you see the flashing lights, the police officers that span blocks at this scene. We also spoke to Governor Josh Shapiro. He was here tonight, and this is what he had to say.
We have 25 members of our PennDOT team who are here right now. We have members of the Pennsylvania Emergency Management Authority who are here, including our director, Randy Padfield, who joins me behind here. We also have members of DEP, the Department of Environmental Protection, who are here to make sure that any hazardous materials are addressed. And as you heard the mayor reference, we're joined by several state representatives and senators. I want to thank them. They will make sure that whatever is needed for this community gets to this community. I also spoke earlier this evening with the United States Secretary of Transportation, Secretary Duffy.
About this being a unified response to this aviation disaster. I think he put that in a really great way, talking about how many agencies are coming together to piece together what happened here tonight. And of course, our thoughts and prayers go out to those who are affected. Again, we spoke to those witnesses who saw this all unfold. And then you think about the family members and those impacted, those who lost their lives. And this is just the beginning of this investigation. This is going to take a while to figure out what happened here. And of course, we will keep you updated as we learn more. Shari and Gray.
Okay, Brianna, thank you for your reporting and your perspective tonight on this tragedy in the city of Philadelphia tonight. As we continue to monitor this breaking news situation, of course, the videos continue to come in, and just looking at these videos, just unbelievable that this happened in our community, in our neighborhood, and so many people, of course, tonight impacted by this. That plane in the air for about 30 seconds, we're hearing, before it made that what appeared to be a nosedive right there in Northeast Philadelphia along Cotman Avenue, Roosevelt
My
Boulevard.
gosh, the
We know
engine is
homes were
just
on fire, buildings
roaring.
were on fire, cars were on fire, and sadly, people walking the street were on fire.
Yeah, this incident cannot be lost on us.
No.
The humanity and knowing really what's happening in these moments where this plane wasn't able to keep its lift and to stay afloat. And the videos that are coming in that really tell the story. Seeing the explosion, seeing the people react in awe, shocked by what happened, wanting to know more of what was going on. It really
Listen
just
to those
tells the story
engines.
of those families.
That is so crazy.
We can't begin to imagine for
The
those who are learning
engines are
tonight
just
that their loved
roaring.
ones did not make it.
We want to switch now to Action News reporter Brianna Gallagher. She is live now at a shelter, and she's joined by...
This is Councilmember Anthony Phillips joining Brianna, and I'm sure he has a lot to say, Brianna, and sharing with you on reaction to this incident.
Yes, Gray, Shari. As first responders and officials are still on scene, volunteers are making their way here to Samuel Fells High School. And this is where officials are telling people to come. If you need shelter, you can't get into your home, this is where you should come. And I'm joined, by council member right now. Why are you out here tonight?
Yeah, I'm out here because a lot of our residents have been impacted. I represent this lower northeast part of the district, and this is our high school. And I wanted to make sure that the residents that are here know that, we're here for them. Honestly, this is a communities coming together. As I was walking into the shelter tonight, I had noticed 3 residents bringing water and other supplies to make sure that those who were affected by the tragedy felt good. And also when I was in there, I was listening to a resident tell me her story. She was literally 5 doors down from the tragedy, watching TV, doing work, eating food, and she had stuff in her hands. And immediately when the plane struck, everything at her hands flew up in the air. Her dog ran down to the basement, and she went rushing after her dog to make sure he was safe. But the dog was petrified. She's going to the basement. She noticed all of her front windows were out.
Oh my gosh.
So a lot of the residents that are coming here, can you imagine, their homes are full of debris, their windows are out. It's not even hospitable.
Oh my
So
gosh.
that
There's
whole
another
neighborhood has
video
been
out.
really impacted in a devastating way. So right now, we need love, we need prayers, we need support right here in our district. So if you want to come down to Samuel Fells High School, bring food, bring love, prayers, and also supplies for our residents right now. So
I know. What do things look like in there? I know you said you just saw a handful of people, and I know we spoke a moment ago about that woman. You know, these stories that keep coming out, these people that were there when this happened, it's heartbreaking.
It is heartbreaking. It's quite devastating. What you see in there right now are people who are right now being put, they're sitting down with blankets over them. They're being comforted by Red Cross workers, because Red Cross workers also have mental health support services that they're giving them as well. And they're showing them love, and also they're getting water, they're getting food that's might needed. You're also being evaluated for any medical issues that they may be going through as well. But this is going to be a long process, and what I know for sure is that the city is going to have their back in terms of rebuilding their homes that have been impacted, but also the mental health support that they're going to need as well.
My
because
gosh.
you know, your home is never going to feel the same, you know, after a tragedy like that, and you got to find a way to get back into the home, back into the groove of things. I mean, this has been a gut-wrenching week for me. Honestly, and I can only imagine it's a gut-wrenching week for the rest of the city of Philadelphia as well, especially for these residents who are just being really impacted. So, yeah.
I know we heard Mayor Cheryl Parker and Governor Josh Shapiro stress that this is a unified effort. No stone will be left unturned. And, you know, people are going to be coming together to help those that are impacted.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, we're in our office, we're trying to figure out ways to make sure we get the word out about
It's horrible.
1-800 Red Cross and other support services that could be there, whether it be mental health or financial services that people are going to need at this moment. But we also, on the city council side, we clearly now understand that there is something going on in the aviation across the nation. And we're trying to think about, as council members, what's next? So, like, how can we find ways to make sure aviation is strong in our nation? Because that's supposed to be one of the safest places to be on, and that's not. It doesn't feel that way right now, and people are feeling this gut wrench in their hearts and their throats right now. It's terrible. All we need is God. You know, we really need God to see us through this one, and I know people are praying for us.
Thank you, Councilman Phillips, for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And if you do have anything, any volunteers, anything that you can donate, you can bring them on down here to the high school. We're going to get back to you guys. Sorry, Gray.
We're thankful to Council Member Phillips for joining us and sharing his perspective of what's happening to the residents, our neighbors in the Northeast tonight.
Yeah, that's the new
as
video.
We continue our breaking news coverage of this crash here in Northeast Philadelphia. I believe now we have some sound from the tower as this Learjet 55 came down in Northeast Philadelphia. Let's listen.
04796, 04796.
All right, so I'm going to pause that because this is the other part of that video, you guys.
Come on. Come on. Come on, go get sit in the car.
Look at that.
Okay, come on. You cannot get out. Come on. Come on. Come on, go get sit in the car.
Oh my gosh, this is crazy. All right, we'll go back to this. This is the audio for the air traffic control. They're going to play it. We've already went through it a few times.
Pico truck. Can you reroute them to Rupert and Cotman to meet up with Larry Duvani, Rupert and Cotman for the Pico truck?
We'll go ahead and turn the scanner down here for a second. And you can listen to the version of the audio on this one. And then we're going to break it down like we did before just a second ago. So let me mute this music for you. I'll go ahead and mute my my microphone, and then I'll just let this play through without any interruption. And let me know if the audio is louder for that. And then I'm going to go back to Twitter, and we'll see which one's louder.
you can bring them on down here to the high school. We're going to send it back to you guys. Shari, Gray.
Well, we're thankful to Council Member Phillips for joining us and sharing his perspective of what's happening to the residents, our neighbors in the Northeast tonight.
And as we continue our breaking news coverage of this crash here in Northeast Philadelphia, I believe now we have some sound from the tower as this Learjet 55 came down in Northeast Philadelphia. Let's listen.
Digit 765. We have a lost aircraft. We're not exactly sure what happened, so we're trying to figure it out. For now, the field is
never mind.
closed, so
That's
no
the
inbounds
end
or
of it.
outbounds probably. 609 Foxtrot. I'm sure you copied that, but for right now, we're gonna call the field closed. We'll try to get you out here when we can. If we can't, we'll have to take you over to Atlantic. But stand by for now.
So we'll have to get more information as to the.
All right, I'm going to actually go back. We're going to listen to the ATC audio here real quick. Here's the link for it if you want it for yourself. And then I'm going to point some things out real quick. And then I'm going to let you guys listen to it uninterrupted. So here's that. We're going to switch to this here. Now, I want to point out a couple things when we listen to this audio. There's 3 responses from this craft. First response is at 24 seconds. The next response is at 55 seconds. And then there's another response at 1:08. And right here is where they tell you that they lost the aircraft. And you do not hear anything else after that. There is no signs of distress as far as I can tell when you're talking about this response. This response is clearer. When it gets to this response, it gets very muffly. This response is just as muffly, but you do not hear any distress. So I'm going to play this in its entirety as well. This is full volume, and I'll mute my microphone again.
Medevac, med service 056 on departure, turn right heading 290, runway 24, clear for takeoff, wind 25010. Medevac, med service 056 affirmative, on departure, turn right heading 290, runway 24, clear for takeoff. Medevac, med service 056, contact Philly departure 123.8.
123.8, Mike Tango Sierra 056 Medevac. Thank you, good day.
Medevac med service 056, Northeast Tower, contact Philly 123.8. Medevac med service Northeast Tower. Medevac med service 056, Northeast Tower, you on frequency?
Medevac Mike Tango Sierra 056, Northeast Tower, how do you hear this transmission?
Medevac med service 056, Northeast Tower. Turkey 6098 Foxtrot, Northeast Ground, Roger. Stand by one. I'll get back to you when I can.
First to runway 24, what's going on down there?
Digit 765. We have a lost aircraft. We're not exactly sure what happened, so we're trying to figure it out. For now, the field is going to be closed, so no inbounds or outbounds probably.
All right, understand. Thank you.
For 609 Foxtrot, I'm sure you copied that, but for right now, we're gonna call the field closed. We'll try to get you out here when we can. If we can't, we'll have to take you over to Atlantic. But stand by for now.
All right, we're going to switch back to this now.
Thank you for your insight and perspective on this.
Our continuing coverage of our big story tonight, of course, this Learjet
Thank you all for
55
being here.
that has crashed in Philadelphia continues now. We want to go to Action News reporter Leland Pender, who's been doing the reporting in regards to those who needed to be treated and sent to hospitals tonight, Leland.
Yeah, and Shari and Gray, I just don't think we're going to get any definitive information on injuries and those potential fatalities tonight. It's just such a wide-ranging investigation with still so much to go through as far as, reports and looking at the plane and the scene there in Northeast Philadelphia. It's just not known right now. We've gotten updates from the mayor and other officials tonight, and they're saying what they can, but as
Oh
far
my
as
Lord,
injuries and
the jet
fatalities, they
engines
just
are
don't have that
screaming.
information. Here at Jefferson Torresdale Hospital,
Whoa.
we have been monitoring the situation here.
The
There's
jet
been a cop
engines were
out
screaming.
front for several hours, as long as we've been here, and we now know that the only people getting through to the hospital are people who either work here or are family members of the victims. There have been a number, I don't have a number for you, but there has been a number of ambulances coming through here all throughout the evening. Police vehicles as well. Some have their sirens and lights activated. Some come in without those lights activated, but there has been easily maybe 2 or 3 dozen in and out throughout the night. We are hearing from another hospital system, Temple Health. They say they did have a handful of patients that they treated as a result of this plane crash tonight. Here at Jefferson Health, they're not saying how many patients have been treated across their healthcare system.
My
or
gosh,
here at
those
Jefferson
engines are
Torresdale,
screaming.
But certainly we know that some people have been brought here
Banner
for treatment.
is silent
What the
again.
injuries could be, we just don't know. Obviously, burns, that is, of course, a possibility. Any number of physical injuries is possible. We've heard throughout the night from reporters who were at the scene of some of the things they have seen. A man on fire, someone described, limbs. This is just so horrific. And this is just...
Yes, we've been hearing reports of that all night. Thank you, Busby. Let me drop this link. And we're going to check this out real quick from Fox 29. Debris flew through their window.
I think this part, right? So a piece of metal from the plane came through.
Whoa.
Did they take it from you?
Not from me, but one of my manager. Yeah, the guy was sitting on left here.
14?
Thank you, Busby.
So it came through the window and landed all the way over here.
Wow.
All the way here in the seat. Was somebody eating at the time?
Yeah.
Somebody
They didn't
was
get hurt, though,
eating
right?
at the time.
It hit the customer in the head?
Whoa.
Okay.
Whoa. It hit the guy in the
luckily
head?
everybody's safe, but something flew through the window. You had no idea. Did you hear the plane crash?
No, I came in actually after like a half an hour.
What? All right. And I do retweet all of these. Here, let me drop my Twitter as well. I do retweet all of these as well. Let me go to my profile if you wanna follow me on X. Here's the link for that. I do retweet all of these. So there's my link, and you can see everything that we post as we're going through it. Katrina dropped something here. What is this? The Learjet. All right, so flight radar. Here's the link for this. And I do have flight radar. Let me see. Let me take a look at this. This evening, a Learjet 55AX UCI crashed shortly after takeoff from Northeast Philadelphia Airport. The flight departed at 2306 UTC, reaching a maximum altitude of 1650 at 2306.54. Granular ADS-B data shows the last message from the aircraft non-position report. Remember, they reported that they lost the aircraft. Reported a vertical rate of minus 11,008 FPM. So here's the photo of... Wow. Right after takeoff. All right, let me retweet that. Thank you, Katrina.
They opened up.
Let me click on this link real quick. All right, we're on flight radar here. Let's get rid of that. We should have flight radar up. Let me make sure. Yeah, we do. We got it up here.
CO2 on the air. Yes. Can we assign someone to the mobile mini here, 2300 copy, so in case anybody wants to use the restroom?
So that's where they lost contact with it, and it crashed right over here.
Right now. All right, appreciate that.
So they lost contact with it here. Wait, hold on.
2634.
Holy
2634.
hell.
George unit with me. They still need a tow somewhere. 35 pound 3, still need tow in St. Vincent.
Climbing, and then it just dropped.
35 pound 3, that's correct, man. I appreciate it.
Then it just dropped. All right, let's go back to this. Thank you, you guys.
And there's still so much to uncover and to learn about what happened and,
34,
and how many people have been affected. Of course, we know the tragic end for those people on the plane, but this happened in such a busy area of the city, homes, the mall, just so many places where people would have been at 6 o'clock at night, early in the evening, dinner time, having fun with friends, out and about running errands. So it just remains to be seen the scope of the injuries.
Oh my gosh, there's another video.
See as a result of this. But for now, we're live here outside Jefferson, Torresdale. Leland Pinder, Channel 6 Action News. Sorry and great, back to you.
All right, let me go to this other video. It just dropped. Let me get the link for you guys real quick. Oh my gosh, this is nuts.
Charlie, we're trying to get some of staff personnel showing up. We're ready to report to.
Here's that. Oh my gosh, this one's crazy too.
Ready for Charlie 8.
Thank you, Inquisitive.
Have that on and see if you guys have any suggestions where we have the way to have personnel.
Look at that. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
I recommend just give him a second.
All right, Leland, thanks for your report there from the hospital.
Oh my gosh.
We are joined now by spokesperson Mel Bauer. Mel, first of all, our hearts go out to you and your staff. We have learned that a patient and a mother have lost their lives in this horrible crash in Northeast Philadelphia. Tell us more about what you know about the situation and the patient and the mom.
Well, thank you for your condolences. We appreciate that. It's just the most tragic situation. We care for children from all over the world at our facilities here in the U.S. and abroad. And the goal, of course, is always that they live their best life and that we enable them to do all the things that they want to do. And to have such a tragic end for this patient is just devastating and heartbreaking for all of us at Shriners.
Those engines.
Mel, we want to just thank you again. This is Shari Williams speaking with you here on the phone. And then we can only imagine what you must be feeling, you and your organization, to see the images that are coming in. How are you communicating with your own staff as you're getting word of what has unfolded tonight?
Well, I think we're all still in shock. I think that, our patient ended her care at our facility today and had a send-off by the team there. And I think we're all still just beginning to process, how something so tragic could have happened. And just the devastation of all of this, I think, hasn't even really started to sink in yet. But of course, not just for our patient, but for those on the ground and the medical crew in the plane. There's so many tonight that our hearts go out to. It's not just our patient, but of course, that's where our heart really is with our own patient. But just the devastation that we're seeing from this unbelievable situation is just so tragic.
This is a person who,
my gosh, look at that.
In a life fight already.
Going so fast.
Care and treatment from Shriners Children's. You guys do an amazing job. The work that you do to help families recover and push through their health challenges. And now this to happen. It started, I'm sure, as a day that you thought was one to celebrate. This child was leaving today and had completed their medical treatment with Shriners.
Change. They're not going to Macy's.
Well,
they're coming to
as you said, we take care of children with complex medical conditions all over the globe, and it's a routine act for us to bring patients internationally to our facilities. And this is just something so unexpected that's never something we've encountered before, and it's usually very routine for us.
Man,
to
those
bring patients
engines
from
were
all over
just
the globe,
screaming
to different facilities, but particularly to Philadelphia, where we have a lot of international patients that are seen and treated because of the world-class care that we're able to provide there. And this sort of ending is
My
just hard to
Lord.
even contemplate, to be
All
honest.
these videos
And
tonight
Mel,
is just
we know,
from a
for
Learjet.
you, this is so
From
real.
a Learjet.
And these individuals were not just a number.
Look at this.
Was a
This
mother,
doesn't look like a
and her
Learjet
young
crash.
child. On a human level, how do you and your staff move forward? We know the work that you
Look up
do.
high-res.
You see
This
tragedies
does not
on a daily
look
basis,
like a
but this is
Learjet
to the
crash.
extreme.
This is nuts.
What do you say to your staff tomorrow
This is
morning or later
nuts.
tonight?
You know, whenever we encounter difficulties such as this, we always actually look to our own patients, because they exhibit a strength that many of us as adults have simply stopped learning how to possess. The hope, the joy that they possess, the strength that they
We're
show
looking.
us,
It's like we're
they
looking
actually
at
give
a.
us the strength that it takes to move forward
Oh
from
my
a situation like
Lord.
this. And so I would imagine in the coming days, we will really be drawing on the strength of our own patients, who have, you know, so much strength in the adversity that they overcome, so much courage in the challenges that they face, and their
And those
approach
engines.
to life is really just an inspiration to us. And so I think we'll just all be drawing together in the coming days and drawing from that energy that our incredible patients possess each and every day, and tapping into their joy and their hopefulness during our own sadness.
Yeah, you and your staff, we know that you do a special work as it is, the work that you do to help families push through and to overcome the challenges that they're facing in their medical and health. Mel Bauer with Shriners Children's Hospital, we thank you for taking the time to speak with us as this is unfolding in the city of Philadelphia. You didn't have to do it. So thank you for taking the time to update us with those words.
Yeah.
And our thoughts are with you and your staff, and of course,
Thank you.
what we've learned about the patient and the family and the 4 crew members on board that Learjet 55 tonight.
Thank you, Mel. We switch now back to Action News reporter Jessica Curtalia live for us there near the scene. You've been talking to witnesses all night, Jessica. Fill us in more on what those witnesses are saying.
So, Gray, as we've been saying all evening, this was such a busy time of night when that plane went down. So there were several people who were in this area at the time and witnessed the entire event unfold. And then so many witnesses came to check out the scene from another vantage point. Also, people who are just trying to get home tonight, and there are so many roads blocked off in this area that they're not able to get back to their houses. So they're being sent over to the high school in the interim. But I want to take or give you guys a listen to some of the people that we spoke with earlier today.
Came out of Wendy's, we got like a couple whoppers. It was like a boom. We all stepped back, and it was real crazy. It was like real bright, and one of them actually fell to the floor. I just stood there looking like, oh.
It felt like the ground shook, and you could hear it was a loud boom. It was startling.
I've seen body parts scattered all over the explosion.
Oh my God.
It was just
Right.
very graphic.
Yeah, that's the reports I've been hearing from the beginning. There's a lot. I've been trying my best not to show them. I've been trying my best not to show them. This one slipped in on me.
And you're looking live now
Apologize
at
about
Bustleton and
that.
Cotman. This entire area
I've been
is
trying to avoid
cordoned
them all
off
night.
as the investigation continues. And I know that the mayor said earlier in her press conference that they will rely on the sunlight tomorrow morning to give them a better view of all of the debris that has fallen. Again, they're also being told if you see anything in this area, if you have any debris, if you live nearby and you see a piece of perhaps the plane in your yard, don't touch it. It is considered evidence at this point. But again, it's unclear how long these roads will be shut down. We have seen some movement with cars in this area, but you have to understand that these parking lots were full at the time because people were working. They were stopping by to pick up dinner for this evening or working out at the gym nearby across the street. And those cars are also slowly being let out so that they can make their way out of this scene, if you will. So, of course, we're going to stay on top of this story throughout the evening, and we'll bring you any updates as soon as we get them. Back to you both.
Okay, Jessica, thank you for your reporting tonight. We want to get now to this. Of course, this plane crash getting the attention of the entire nation, including our president this evening. And he did put out a statement, and it reads in part, more innocent souls lost. Our people are totally engaged. First responders are already being given credit for doing a great job. More to follow. God bless you all. That a statement from President Donald Trump. Of course, the White House monitoring what's happening here in Philadelphia tonight, as this now makes the second plane crash in 48 hours.
And as we are about to wrap our breaking news coverage up here, a reminder, this all happening just a little after 6.
Shapiro coming into the city of Philadelphia to lend his support, his prayers, and
now that's a
any
picture of an
resources
engine.
that he
There's
can
an engine
to
on the
help in this
ground.
investigation and help in the healing and the picking up of the pieces.
Oh, I'm sure, T. Harrison. I've been hearing a lot of reports from the beginning that there was. That's why I've been putting my coffee cup, because there's a video that shows some of it. There's a video that shows some of it, and if it comes up again, I'm going to put my coffee cup up again. So if you see this come up, there's a reason why. It's because I don't want it to be shown on the screen. What's up, American Proud? That is right. There was oxygen on board as well. They did find an oxygen container with the medical emblem shortly after the crash. That is correct.
You know, remember in our initial conversations, I was dealing with where there's construction in that Roosevelt Mall parking lot, and there is a cyclone fence about 6 feet high with a tarp all around it. And I was wondering, maybe the pilot was just aiming to get in there because there was no people, because the debris field, this jet didn't just fall.
It's like something happened to the tail.
Like, say a parachute or a helicopter.
It's like something happened to the tail and it just went.
Careened through the parking lot, across Cottman Avenue, and then into the houses toward Calvert.
Take a tail off a glider, and what happens? It goes straight down, nosedive. Take the tail off the glider, it goes straight down, nosedive.
And that's why maybe we don't have people.
Something happened to the tail, I think.
Of anybody hit by the plane itself when it hits the ground at a high speed, and where I saw all the pieces of it all broken up and apart.
I know, right, Light Fawn? Yes, it was a nosedive.
From the jet fuel.
It was a nosedive.
And we talked about Cottman Avenue. One source tells us
there would have been no ice.
In the middle of Cottman
It was
Avenue,
50-some degrees.
I had sent video in and tweeted video.
Would have been no ice.
A little tornado of fire.
The engines were working. Engines were at full speed.
Chicken shop.
And it went nosedive. To me, that's something happened to the tail.
Hot and so intense that as close as I was feeling the heat on my face. And that was burning nonstop. The Philadelphia Gas Works team, I just saw everybody walking backwards with their lime green vest on. And I thought, well, they obviously think there's nothing they can do now. And there was no danger of explosion. But when it was burning that intense and that fast, that probably did a whole lot of damage to the infrastructure itself.
Yeah, we're on Fox 29 right now, Patricia.
Coincidentally, a week ago today, when all the Department of Public Property was bringing in flatbed trucks and putting down those steel barricades to put on both sides of Broad Street for the anticipated Eagles NFC Championship celebration. We're seeing lots of trucks nonstop for the last couple of hours, bringing those barricades around here. So a big section of Northeast Philly may be closed. As I'm talking to you live, here is another optimistic thing. Roosevelt Boulevard's outer lanes, despite with
A lot
where
of
we
stuff
are,
on
and with
fire.
the police in the right lane, there were several
Lot of
cars now
stuff.
going. Greg, does that look like the outer lane is open now? We're seeing some traffic being let through. So the outer lane's going northbound toward Ben Salem. They're allowing traffic to go through here.
This is going to
That
go
is
through the
first
night.
sign
They're
of
going to
life
have to
getting
have
back to normal,
daylight
because
to
I
try
talked
and find
earlier about an
some
hour
of
ago
the
about how eerily quiet it was around
some
here.
of the
Let's hope
stuff.
that doesn't mean a whole bunch of people are going to start driving up here to gaze to their left and see what they can see. So traffic is trickling by. The traffic lights at Cotman are dark. I don't know if that meant that power got out or maybe the Philly police knocked them out. But there's nobody crossing Cotman Avenue unless that would be a police officer or any of the utility crews that are coming here, or maybe some of the media. So hopefully everybody will be careful and take it easy as they're driving by this spot. But we are seeing some signs that this is going to be shut down for an infinite amount of time, possibly
into the
while they get
into
this
the morning.
investigation going and why they make repairs and do all they have to do.
They're going to
And
have to
that's
need the
case
daylight.
with the steel barricades that you see going up to keep the crowds back, to keep the roads closed, and to keep everybody back as they have investigators waiting. No surprise for first light, because this happened just as it was getting dark. This is the hour where it gets dark, and it wasn't completely dark out, but you'll see a lot more maybe that they haven't spotted in terms of debris and whatever they need to find in the first daylight. Plus, hopefully the rain will clear. I haven't been paying attention too close, as you understand, to tomorrow's forecast. I just know how tonight's forecast has been nonstop terrible, in a word. So hopefully at first light, they'll get an idea about how bad things are. We'll get an update from officials. I wouldn't expect, it doesn't look like anybody's getting ready for any news conferences here. The media is kind of thinning out. I'm looking at what we used as a podium. It went from 15 mics to one microphone. So nobody's telling us, hey, get ready for another update as we're approaching midnight.
Interesting.
Expect an update probably tomorrow morning after
Tomorrow
first
morning.
light, after authorities get a look at everything,
All
get
right.
their updated numbers, and let's hope, if anybody is religious and they want to pray, let's pray that number 6 is the total number in the death toll.
Yeah, with all that
was in a
damage.
car, not far from me, as we were driving through Cotman Avenue, getting past the boulevard.
With
made
all
down
that
somehow
damage.
miraculously, but boy,
Yeah.
I saw so many cars on fire, and I was hearing all the tires popping.
Oh my
being
gosh.
burned and blowing up outside. That I just thought, my first thought was, did everybody get out of those cars, and how much warning did they have? And you talked about
Oh my
nobody
gosh.
looks up. You were saying, Jason, I heard you saying that. Well, nobody in traffic is going to look to their left at a shopping mall and expect a Learjet to come careening across them either. So we'll see.
29 by 3 to 4 black now.
The
Taken with a
update
white
is
Honda
of
Civic, also
11:45
for a
North
stabbing.
Boulevard in Cotman
Later
Avenue
has
right now.
injuries. This is the
Lots of
26
Philly
robbery
police
in progress.
here, lots of
29
Philly fire
260
department
1
folks
Town
here.
Avenue.
They're not in any hurry to leave.
29 by 3 to 4 black now. So for the flash thing with a white Honda
until
Civic
first
for
light
attack
in the
at this
morning.
time.
Yeah, they're going to need the light.
Accepted here,
Also coming out
Steve.
for
Thank you very much.
They're going to need the light. Yeah, they're going to need the light.
It would truly be a miracle if nobody on the ground was hurt or killed. I know that there are some injuries, but if the death toll stays at 6, as you see the NTSB there behind the road, and just to think that these barricades are coming out when they're so synonymous with parades and Eagles fun and the mummers and whatever else there is, to think that those are now being used to cordon off what has been just a horrific plane crash in Northeast Philly tonight.
And we were talking just about the stark contrast of a city so hyped and pumped and proud that the Philadelphia Eagles are going to the Super Bowl, and just the excitement.
Full tank and oxygen, full tank, 6,700 pounds of fuel, oxygen tanks in there, going almost 300 mile an hour straight nosedive. Yeah. But man, I get the damage going in to where it crashed, but the scope of the width of the path of everything is crazy. What's up, Desiree? Thank you. What's up, Nay? Yeah, it's that definitely has something to do with it, but man, you're right. That ATC audio, you don't hear panic in that guy's voice. Not once. my guess is that something happened with the tail, and it went down just like a glider that doesn't have. When you're talking about fires in airplanes, that if it messes with the hydraulics, the wiring, stuff like that, you don't go into a nosedive. You don't. Typically, you don't. So what I'm wondering is, did something either happen with the tail, or did something happen with the oxygen tank inside the helicopter? Because if the oxygen tank went off inside that helicopter, I'm telling you right now, most people in there would have been gone already, because the pressure alone and the shrapnel that comes from it, I could see that going into a dive, and maybe it was at full blast, the engines, because after that goes off inside, then I don't think you're not even gonna be alive to slow the plane down. So to me, and I'll be back tomorrow morning, to me, it's got to either be something with the tail. It's got to be maybe the tank inside, and another thing you guys mentioned is that it looked like it was on fire too, as it was going down, and so maybe the oxygen tank got sparked from something, because you got to be very careful with oxygen tanks. Maybe the oxygen tank got sparked somehow, and all of a sudden inside the plane, it went from a shrapnel pressure cooker into the plane was already on fire instantly. It might have been. The more I think about it, maybe it was something sparked the oxygen tank, shrapnel bomb, and then it's on fire instantly. It doesn't need time to grow. The fire don't. With an oxygen tank getting sparked, you're talking instant on flames. But like they said, I'm sure we'll find out more tomorrow morning. You can only see so much at night, and with a flashlight, they're gonna have I wouldn't be surprised if it goes well into the morning, and we're talking like, I'm sure we'll have a press conference, when it's sunlight, half an hour after, maybe an hour after. But I guarantee you they're going to be out there through the early afternoon tomorrow, because they can only get so much right now. And the crappy part is that it's raining. But we'll be back tomorrow. I'll come back, and we'll cover this some in the morning, because I want to know what the heck happened. If you have any information, do me a favor, send it to me overnight, because I might not come across it. Even if I might have it already, I might not have it. So send it to any of these links, any of the profiles. It was not engine failure. Yeah, you're right, Miguel. No, you can hear those engines screaming. There's no way it's engine failure. That engine was going full blast. Every video you see that crash, you can hear those engines roar.
Photographs. They're paying a lot of attention to, of course, the piece of the plane that we have been pointing to throughout the evening. With
Good
that
night.
red
Thank you all for being
writing
here. I'm
with
just
the
going to be
numbers
live
on it,
just
as
a little
well
bit
as some
longer.
of those charred cars, and then on the ground you can see an engine.
And then I'll probably go
right
hang
now.
out
It
at the
seems like
lounge, my other
just
channel.
making
If you
sure
want to
that this
go
area
sub to it,
stays
there's
clear,
that
so
link.
people, I know that it's natural for people to want to come down and look at the scene and assess the damage and figure out what's going on. But the priority is for officials
I usually
to
hang out
assess
there
the
after
scene
my
and
lives
figure
over
out
here.
exactly what happened. So we see them picking up the phone, making phone calls, making notes, taking pictures, and just trying to see exactly what that damage is. I heard my colleague Steve Keeley, he talked about, it almost seems as if there's like a crater in the ground, and that does seem like what it appears to be, some type
Thank you,
of
American
crater,
crowd. Thank you for
definitely
being
a lot
here.
of damage there to the ground, and that just speaks to the impact this crash must have had here on Cottman Avenue. Again, this is a residential area. There's businesses. This is the Roosevelt Mall. This was catastrophic, but it could have been even
We'll still be here a
worse,
little bit
especially
longer.
a Friday evening. There were people going to these restaurants, going to these stores, headed home. This is such a busy area.
It could
here
be
in
Kathy
Northeast
D. What's up,
Philadelphia.
Kathy?
Like you two have been saying all night, you drive up Cottman Avenue and you never think that there would be a plane that just falls from the sky. And when we're learning that, it was a little girl who was being treated for months at the hospital, and she was with her mother, and there was a
That is
crew,
true,
and
Patricia.
she was on her way home.
That
first
is true.
stopping in Missouri, then headed home to Mexico.
We do not. We learned that last night, didn't we?
Thing so much more gut-wrenching. So
we learned that last night.
Taking time, what's also going to take some time.
Oh
is
yeah,
the healing, and also
the screams are crazy
because people want answers. I just cannot stress enough that a lot of people are.
I've been trying my best to kind of shield you guys from some of the
2 days ago, 67 people
witness interviews and some of the videos, just because I don't, it's already horrific enough.
Are really wondering, is it safe?
It's already horrific enough seeing.
There's people tomorrow morning who have flights.
I know, T. Harrison. I know.
Taking those flights?
It's
Are
sad.
they canceling their trips? There's a lot that's going on in people's minds, and at this point across the country, not just here in Philadelphia or in DC.
Michael, send me the link.
People across our country that are concerned.
Send me the link.
Safe to get in the air. So that's going to be something that we are going to continue to ask the questions to officials. We've continued since DC. We've been asking, hey, is it safe to fly? We've been told yes, but of course, after this, we have to continue to push to make sure that people get the answers that they are looking for.
All right, Cheyenne, Corinne there at the scene for us. Thank you very much. The plan here, I just want to let the folks at home know, here's the plan. We're planning to stay on the air until midnight, and we will stay in place in case we hear from a dignitary, a fire official, the mayor, the governor, the NTSB. If that happens anytime soon after, we'll come back on the air and bring that to you live. And of course, a good day, which comes on tomorrow at 7 a.m. 7 a.m. And so, of course, they're going to be give you full coverage of this. So we're going to stay on the air here for a couple more minutes and just try to, finish up our coverage. What has been
We're going to switch to this other video here.
Since this all happened.
And be sure to tune in tomorrow at 7 a.m.
No doubt about that. We truly are the city of brotherly love. The barricades are going up the right of your screen. That is going to be an area that is cordoned off for some time. And I'm sure they're getting instruction from the NTSB where to start the barricades and that sort of thing. So Good Day Philadelphia starts at 7 o'clock in the morning. And again, we may come back on the air tonight if we hear from officials in the next hour or so with an update on this crash. We have heard from the mayor, we've heard from Governor Shapiro, and a couple of others, and plenty of witnesses as well. But there's still a lot to be learned, still a lot to be known about what happened on the ground. And of course, we've got you covered here at Fox 29.
Right. Be sure to stay with Fox 29 for continuing coverage of the investigation into the plane crash. You can always stay tuned.
Thinking about them tonight as well.
According to reports. So that means that this thing was full of jet fuel.
Oh my gosh, look at that. See, that's the tank, you guys.
Discussion over whether or not this thing being
there's the tank
full of jet fuel like it was is what led to such an explosive impact with the ground. Again, here's what that looked like.
Jet rescue. And there's always raw video too. I got raw video.
It's just sickening. Listen to the audio.
Do you hear those engines? Come on now. Come on now. You hear those engines.
3 expected to be okay. Another 3 expected to be okay. Fox 29, Steve Keeley giving us that reporting just moments ago on the ground there. We've been relying on his reporting all day. It's a horrible situation here. This medical plane carrying a child.
That's a
dropping on us.
That's a tank. That's an oxygen tank. Remember in the beginning they said
we're going to be heading off the air here in a moment, but I'm curious if we can ask our producer Ryan if we have a live feed perhaps of downtown Philadelphia. We can go to that, and in the meantime, let's play out the images because we did get
right here. Listen to this
doorbell camera footage showing this. And you've likely seen this by now if you've been watching our coverage.
Where'd the sound go?
But these are the images that we've been working with all evening. Oh, it's just so horrible.
Where'd the sound
How explosive this impact was.
What the heck?
Bob Kelly on X saying the crash. Got you covered here at Fox 29.
Right. Be sure to stay with Fox 29 for continuing coverage of the investigation into the plane crash.
This should have
you
the
can always
audio.
Stay tuned to the latest on air, online, and on the Fox local app. Thank you for watching.
Fox 29 with their special coverage as they wrap up for the evening. We're going to just do a little recap of everything we know here. We still do have a few live images that we're working with of the scene. Of course, this has been a horrible day as we follow this situation out of Northeast Philadelphia just 2 nights after that air disaster in Washington, D.C. You see the NTSB, and this is a live feed. The NTSB has arrived in Philadelphia. The National Transportation Safety Board will presumably take the lead on this investigation, as they are in D.C. as well. We know 6 people were on board that medical plane. That included 1 patient. In addition to the patient, there was 1 escort and then 4 crew members, bringing a total of 6. We have not heard any confirmation of any casualties on the ground at this point.
23, not 13 person for weapon.
Not to say that there were or there were not. So simply to say that they have not given us any information on that yet. We did hear from Steve Keeley that there were 6 people that were sent to the hospital. Of those 6, 3 reportedly released, 3 expected to be okay, another 3 expected to be okay. Fox 29, Steve Keeley giving us that reporting just moments ago. On the ground there. We've been relying on his reporting all day. It's a horrible situation here. This medical plane carrying a child and that feed dropping on us.
All right, we're going to switch to this here.
MI 25th District. 3623 North 13th Street, prison for weapons. States a black male, all black clothing, poured alcohol on a female and a 2-month-old child. Male fled in a tan Chevy Cruze. Tags unknown.
All right, we'll turn the scanner down. So it looks like they said all the media crews are leaving. They're going to be back on at sunlight. Let me see what time sunrise is in Philly. 7. Oh, my Lord, that was loud. Let's see. Is it 7 a.m. for Philly for sunrise? 7 a.m. Is that? I'm getting 7 a.m. Is that 7 a.m. Eastern? Oh my gosh, American crowd. This is I don't understand. This from a Learjet. From a Learjet.
Right where that pharmacy sign is? Yeah. That's the alley I was down.
We're going to switch to this real quick here. Pilot and flight instructor's opinion on this plane crash. We're going to switch to this real quick.
We continue to follow breaking news in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania tonight, where a private medical jet has crashed near a busy residential area and a shopping mall. You see the fireball there as it hits the ground. There are a lot of questions right now, still are, surrounding how this could happen just seconds after takeoff, less than 30 seconds. Joining us now with some insights is commercial pilot and flight instructor Robert Katz. Robert, thank you for doing this. What is your 43 years of experience, not only as a pilot, but a flight instructor too, telling you about what could have gone wrong and made this happen tonight?
This is a very, very sad incident because it happened so suddenly and without apparently any warning whatsoever. Information from FlightAware indicates that this is a MedJet's flight number 56, a Learjet 55, which departed Northeast Philadelphia Airport to the southwest and traveled no further than about 1 nautical mile. Here we have a photograph of an example aircraft, a Lear Model 55. This is not the actual airplane that crashed, but this is what the jet would look like. It is a very high-performing corporate jet. It is well suited for air ambulance work, so the application of this airplane on this occasion is appropriate. And then we see on the data from FlightAware only 3 radar hits across a period of time of only 31 seconds of flight. The airplane is climbing at over 2,200 feet per minute, which is what I would expect from a Learjet, but then it disappears suddenly and catastrophically at about 1,400 feet above the ground, elevation out there being around 200 feet above sea level. My first impression of what may have happened here, pure speculation on my part, is some sort of catastrophic mechanical failure, probably due to deferred, cheapened, or neglected maintenance.
All right. Now, so
I hope
what
not.
you're looking at, the evidence suggests
For
that
a
the plane
frickin', oh my
broke apart
gosh.
in air. Is that why, it would lose, I guess, connectivity with radar?
Correct. It was a sudden catastrophic explosion in midair. And that's why I'm inclined to think that
it might have been that oxygen tank, huh? One of the oxygen tanks. It might have been one of the oxygen tanks. Catastrophic explosion in air.
Catastrophic explosion in midair.
Oh,
and
no.
that's why I'm inclined to think that there would be no advance warning of what happened here. There was no call on the air traffic control audio back to the tower explaining any sort of a problem whatsoever. The airplane was clear.
And that's why it was illuminated when it went straight down. And the pilots probably passed away and weren't controlling it. And it just, oh my gosh, that freaking oxygen tank got sparked.
Cleared for takeoff. It took off routinely, and we do not hear from it again.
Well, from what you say, it sort of lends, I guess there is some credence.
Yeah, cheap, faulty equipment. Oh my gosh. They don't even, oh my Lord. Oh my gosh. Oh no.
To be lent to that, because we've had a lot of small plane crashes around here, and in every instance where the pilots know something is happening. It's obvious they are doing everything they can to steer their aircraft away, despite knowing they're going to pass, to keep it away from populated areas. And there was no opportunity, it seems, for that to happen in this case.
Oh my God.
None at all. It appears that the airplane is following the extended
What's up,
center line
Memphis?
of the runway, as we can see here on FlightAware, and it just disappeared in midair, disintegrated in midair.
Now,
like I said in the beginning, I used to work for a medical company that dealt with oxygen tanks and helium. And those things ain't no joke. They are like, if you don't handle it properly, them things are like, oh my gosh, I can't imagine. Oh my gosh, I can't imagine. Hopefully they all passed quickly, because oh my gosh, like, part of my training was seeing some of these things and the damage that they do as part of the training, and oh my gosh, can't imagine.
We can see from the video that we've been sharing on the ground, and I'm sure you've seen it as well, the ground's wet. Obviously, it was raining up there, but to your point,
I ran a medical program that covered Mexico, United States, and Canada, and I managed like 287 sites and over 500 employees. And I was the program leader, so it was my responsibility to coordinate and all that other stuff. It was a 24/7 job, that's for sure.
it doesn't appear that weather really played any
Part of my
role in what happened.
management
Less than 30 seconds
career.
after takeoff, as you say, catastrophic failure.
Man.
Yes, the ceiling and visibility was poor, but certainly within the capabilities of the equipment of the airplane, and I would expect within the capabilities of the pilots flying.
Yeah, here's one of the photos right there. Of one of the tanks. Now, these are a lot smaller and thinner than the ones that I dealt with, but the damage has got to be this. I mean, listen, when I looked at the damage, it was in buildings. It was in a room. It wasn't like a person. It was a room, right? Because they would have, videos from previous accidents at different medical facilities, and you would see what these would do to just the rooms in the buildings. You would have holes missing out of the sides of the walls of the building. It was that bad, like chunks of walls just blown out. And these things, they don't just pop on one side. If they're ignited, they break apart in little. I mean, you're talking so much pressure in these tanks, compressed like crazy. And when those compounds expand, that tank becomes little pieces. I don't know where that one might have been. It had to be in a different part of the plane or something, because I don't know how that one didn't freaking go off, honestly. And the fact that it's like laying there, that's nuts. That's nuts.
Flying. We can see from this image here that the airplane flew the extended center line of the runway for about a mile and then disappeared in flight. I can only hope and pray that the impact on the ground did not victimize people on the ground, but this crew would have had absolutely no warning of what's happening here and no opportunity to steer the airplane away from anything. This airplane just disintegrated in flight in solid instrument meteorological conditions. There were the clouds, and very tragic.
Robert Katz, thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us. We very much are in your debt. Thank you again.
Man, that's crazy, you guys. That's crazy. So we'll be back. We'll be back tomorrow. I'm gonna try and. It said 7 a.m. is sunrise. Might go hang out at the lounge here soon. If not, I'm gonna try and get down and we'll. I want to see what kind of updates they come out with tomorrow. Especially with when they with some daylight. Like I said, you probably won't hear nothing as soon as the sun rises, but I guarantee a half hour after you're going to have a press conference, and there's going to be another press conference a couple hours after that, because I have a feeling that this is going to go well into the morning hours, and I really feel like it's going to be something that they're looking around until the 12 noon, somewhere like that. But definitely need to hear what took place. So I want to say thank you all for your help. Thanks for the information. Thanks for sending links if you've sent any. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight as well, and I appreciate you guys. Please, I just hope we don't have another one tomorrow. You know what I mean? After what happened last night and the way that went down, and then tonight this comes out, and then I don't know, just call all your loved ones, tell them you love them, send them a message, tell them you love them, give them a hug if you're next to them, and just try and have a peaceful and positive night. I know it's tough sometimes. Thank you all for being here, and I love you guys, and we'll see you tomorrow. Please be safe.
Is it domestic related?